Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello. Let's try that again. Welcome to our wonderful Wednesday call-in show. This week's topic is going to be your theories. Hang on, let me get rid of this fuzz buster. It's too hot for all this fur. Hold on. Woo! All right, that's better. That is much better. Okay, I'm not sure I'm crazy about the fur. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining. Hey, Justice for All. Good to see you up in this chat. Good to see everybody tonight. If you guys have a theory, I want to hear it. Let me get our pinned chats. We have sample user up there. What's up, Casey Marie? I like your Northern Lights picture. That's cool. That is cool. What's up, Kendo? We've got Kendo in the house. We've got Jess. Thank you for coming in. Olive and beautiful Cheryl T. Ryan Apple Snapple is in the house. Hey, Heidi. Crimes. Potato. Natalie Scallion. I always want to call you a scallion. Natalie Scallion Onions. What is up? Everyone? Sharon Marlowe, what's up? Bunny, no shitty days allowed, Bunny. No shitty days allowed. There was a tornado in Livonia. Holy. That's crazy. Hang on, I've got a new soundbite. So we're going to open up the phone lines, take your theories. We're going to keep them, 5 minutes or less because I want to get as many theories as we can get in here. Okay? We have a new soundbite for TikTok Tony, and it goes a little something like this. Is that fitting or what? Oh, man, the madness doesn't stop. The madness hasn't stopped over there. It's not a whole lot worth reporting, but I do have a going out video tonight for you guys that's going to make you laugh your asses off. Because after talking about these theories, we're probably going to need a good laugh. Right? We've got the messy potato in the house. Let me get the phone lines going here. Let me open them up. I love taking your calls. I love hearing what you guys think. But I do want to hear your theories. Before we do this, they're not open yet. Before we do this, I have something I want to say. I want to thank all of you that have sent me messages. You've sent me, texts, emails, and you're like, Jay, these people are saying shit about you and how you do things and all of this stuff. And I just want you guys to know that I totally appreciate all of you. I appreciate you looking out for me. But honestly, none of that matters. Okay? None of that matters. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the people that don't matter, right? How I run my channel is my business. And if someone doesn't like how I run my channel, then they have the option to not come here. It's really that simple. So if they don't like the way I run my channel and that gives them content, I guess, hooray for them. I mean, how lame is that? That's your content, is picking apart other people's misfortunes and mishappenings and things like that. But these people, and I just want to make one point, these people that make a big deal out of things or get bent because they're blocked somewhere. A, if you're blocked, you might not be wanted. B, you just proved why, when you came in my chat spamming it, that Steph's pictures were fake and blah, blah, blah. Why no one listens to you. That's why no one listens to you. A, I don't even know who y'all are, but 2, no one listens to you because you're assholes. So they probably think 9 times out of 10, you're coming in to fuck something up. So that's the way it is. I run my shit the way I run my shit. If she needed to be vetted with those pictures, send an email. You can look at them after. You can check it out. No harm, no foul, right? I mean, really. I mean, let's move on, right? Oh, I didn't even see your text yet. Yeah, I did go. I've got one more thing before we get started. This is awesome. How could I forget? Island Thrifts represented us on the beach today. On the east coast of Florida. Check this shit out. If this isn't some cool stuff right here. I love it, Island Thrifts. Look how cool this is. This needs to be like framed or something. Look at this. I don't know if you can make it out good on the screen, but it says J is for justice. And it's on the beach on the east coast of Florida. I know. What a terrible life she lives. She's out there representing on the beach. Thank you so much, Island. And thank you for your super chat. I think we need to leave this up here tonight for some zen. Let's put it down here for some zen. It's pretty sweet. Thank you. What's up, Melly? Melly, thank you for your super thanks earlier. You are awesome. Hey, Kels, good to see you. It is cool, isn't it? Little bit of the beach for y'all tonight. Thank you so much, Island, for bringing us a little bit of paradise to the stream tonight. Mm-hmm. All right, now we're going to open up those lines. We're going to take your calls. 5 minutes or less. Give me your theory of what you think happened to Sebastian Rogers. What do you think happened on February 25th or February 26th, 2024 to Sebastian Rogers? The phone line is open. 727-755-6001 is the phone line. Oh, man, if you do seashells next time, that will definitely be a framer. And I'll put it right in front of me so I can look at it. Because I'm in this, like, dark hole. You did, Jess, the bagged beach sand. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Coming in safari with me. 727-755-6001. I am ready for your calls. Don't make me play some videos now. Satellite Beach, right by where all the rockets go off. What's up, globalism? Well, maybe we need to play some videos to break everyone in. Kind of shy sometimes. Especially when I come in hot, like I am tonight. Don't be shy.
Coming in hot, just like the fajita.
Oh my God, a flat Stanley. Oh my God, that would be so cool. Ryan Apple Snapple, he said we should create a flat Stanley or a flat J and send it to each other to represent you. That would be so funny. What's up, Babs? Okay, so Alan Coker has a theory in chat. He says, I heard Seth and Chris had a plan, but Katie wasn't having anything to do with it. That's true. That's a true story.
Call from Katie.
Hello, Miss. Did you say Katie?
KB.
Oh, KB. Hello, Miss KB. You are on the line with Jay. What's up?
Thank you. I just had like this one thing that I just keep asking myself. Where is our update? Where's our law enforcement update? Why are they not coming out and saying, no, these are not true facts. These are the facts. Every other case that I follow, it seems like when some facts come out or speculations, rumors, whatever, all other law enforcement agencies have hopped right on and given like a press conference or like even put out a statement. Mm-hmm. Like, what was the last statement we got here?
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It has, and it's it's weird. Like, what is going on? How come they can't just come out and say, things that are going around aren't true, or we've looked into them and they're not true, or anything? There's nothing.
Nothing. I know, and it seems like Tennessee does this because it's the same thing that happened with Summer Wells. It's
Very much so. Can we please call all the jurisdictions that had the Gannon Stout case and get them out here?
I know, right? And it's like whatever they're
It's
doing, it's
crazy.
completely silent. No, nothing.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. And the Gannon Stout case, that's where personally I always go when I'm thinking of theories or like trying to analyze all this like information that we get. Let's start at the very beginning. Something happened in a house in both cases, and then a child winded up missing, and then the investigation started.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the same here, except, like I said a second ago, we have no further updates.
Right. Just goes silent.
It's crazy. I just wish we could get something, it would be great. It would be so great.
I do too. I mean, I don't even know like what the deal is. We're all hearing about a DA being present at a meeting. I mean, was that even true? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be nice if
Exactly.
they did, and I agree with you. I was just watching something today and they came out and it was something that just happened and I can't remember. It was some horrific story. You scroll YouTube and it's just one after the other. And it was just some short news
Of course.
clip I watched. But it just happened and they gave all of these details and said what the next step was. And it was just such a stark difference from what we've seen with Summer and now with this case.
Yeah, exactly. This is so frustrating, and everyone's just on edge. I can't imagine how any of the families are feeling right now when, some of us are so invested into this. We just want answers. Like, where's our answers? Come on.
Right. Right. And not only that, I mean, think about their neighbors, the people that live in that town. Like, is there someone we should be worried about? Is there someone, who was a predator? I mean, can they at least rule out that it wasn't a stranger? I mean, something, like you said.
Perfect. And that's one of the questions exactly that should be asked if there is a press conference held. There needs to be a list of questions ready for when they do come out and say, we're going to speak on this, because after, we get to ask the important questions. Whether they answer them is, up to the investigation, but.
Mm-hmm. But at least if, have you ruled out anything? Because, what blows my mind.
That should be the first question. Has anything been ruled out? Yes
Right.
or no? And then go from there. That's like the perfect question.
Right. And you would think that if the parents, even if it was just Seth, they would come out and say, the father has been completely cleared here. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. Why would they allow an innocent person to, go through all of this? I just don't understand any of it.
It's so hard. We're all so invested in this case, and every day it's just like we're all looking for updates. We're all, combing back through everything again, and like, I just can't wait until we do have answers.
I hope we do get them, one way or the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Thank you so much for all the content you put out as well.
Thank you for watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to go over my 5 minutes, so that's all I'm going to say about it. But thank you.
Thank you for calling. But I mean, really good points there. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye, chat.
Bye. Valid points, right? Valid points. I mean, look at Michael Monkey Vaughn. How long ago did they say they were handing that case over to a DA? Do you guys even remember? Let's look it up. 727-755-6001. Let's look up the last update. Michael Monkey Vaughn, district attorney. Because I thought it was handed over to the district attorney. Yeah. October. Wait, hold on. July 28th, 2023. July 28th, 2023. 3. Oh, thank you, Allie. That's so nice. Where's my phone? I'm coming, caller.
Call from Blue Victorian Beauty.
Hello, you are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Hey Jay, it's Blue Victorian Beauty.
Hi, Blue Victorian Beauty. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
Good.
I actually have several theories
Okay.
on this, but
Go ahead.
my gosh, I guess the theory that I think the most is that Katie snapped. Katie and or Chris snapped, and they're both covering it up together. That's my theory.
That Katie and Chris are covering it up?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I think.
Do you have an idea of what you think? Like, do you think it was an accident or do you think it was planned?
I think it was an accident. I don't think it was on purpose.
Yeah. I've thought that too, that maybe a discipline or something went too far and something
Went
bad
too
happened.
far.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I think there's more to the medicine.
Good point. Maybe a little
I
bit too
do.
much of that.
Mhm.
I mean, do you think it's
And I
possible
don't.
that it was an accidental thing? Like maybe Sebastian
Yeah.
was really hyper and
Yeah. No, I really do think it was an accident. I don't think it was on purpose. But I think there's a cover up
yeah,
going on
yeah.
because of the accident. That's my theory.
Mhm. Well, thank you for
That's my
calling in.
theory.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And I know this is totally off topic.
No, go ahead.
But I was at CrimeCon this weekend,
Uh-huh.
and there's a case that I want you to look up.
Okay.
Would you like me to email you?
Oh, absolutely. I would love that.
Okay.
I'll go
My
ahead and
email
I'll
is
go ahead and put the
Blue
email in the
Victorian
chat.
Beauty,
Okay.
so you'll know what I'm talking about.
What is it?
But I don't want to be off Blue Victorian Beauty
Okay.
at Gmail. I don't want to be off topic. So
Well, thank you for that. I
I
just
will
put my
email
email
you.
in the chat. So,
Yes, Jay, and I appreciate you more than you know. You're a part of more of my life than my family. So I just want to say thank you for all that you do.
wow.
And
You're
I'm
welcome.
leaving this for the next person.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. That was really sweet of you, and I'm really glad to have you here.
Yes, ma'am. I'll see you soon or talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, feel free to call in. We do call-ins every Wednesday, so I hope to talk to you again soon.
You got it.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
What a sweetheart. Well, you know what? It's interesting that you say that, Melly. Why not say so if it was an accident? That's the same thing that I thought about with Summer Wells. Was that Summer Wells, they already had CPS involved in their life. They had been in and out of the system. They don't trust law enforcement. They think the system's going to fuck them because they've been a part of it their whole lives. Now, I don't think that's the same over here with the Proudfoots, but I think that if you have other shit going on and you don't want that to come out and you think people aren't going to believe you because you've been abusive, that might be a reason to cover it up.
From Melissa from Texas.
Hello, Melissa from Texas. You are live with Jay. How are you?
Hi, Jay. I'm doing great. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thanks
I
for
wanted
calling
to
in.
share. Absolutely. I'm so excited, so I might go a little fast.
No,
so
you're
my talking
good.
so much,
Tell
I don't
me what's on your mind.
Yes, I wanted to share my theory with the Sebastian Rogers. I was kind of like dovetailing off of the previous caller where I think it was like a spur of the moment accident. Maybe Katie was really upset because Sebastian wouldn't go to sleep. He was probably overstimulated from the outing and from all the food. And all she wanted to do was probably relax and either be on the phone with Chris or be with the dogs and have some wine, just, thinking that she was going to have her alone time and Sebastian wouldn't let her. And I think maybe there was a scuffle, and obviously it wasn't something dirty because there was nothing found in the house. So maybe he hit his head and she couldn't do anything about it anymore. And she might have been under the influence, didn't want to call the cops. That's what I think.
I think that makes sense too, because a lot of people keep talking about there being like a scene, like a bloody scene. And like you said,
Mhm.
that doesn't necessarily have to be the case.
No, because he had the issue with the issue that he was born with his head. So I mean, all it probably took was for him to fall or for her to hit him hard enough, and he could have gone into a seizure. I do have a child with autism, and I know that they suffer from seizures. So I mean, if he had that part of his diagnosis, that could have been, or just the impact of him maybe falling or being hit.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Katie went into panic, and Chris, being, the know-it-all,
I'll
he's
handle
gonna
this.
be able to. Exactly. I think maybe he's like, you know what, we're gonna do this, this, and that, and he may not have been there to do it himself, but I'm sure he contributed to giving her a plan.
Yeah, I think that's very, very plausible. The best day doesn't necessarily have to be the best day. I mean, we don't know that Sebastian wanted to hang out at BJ's. It's not sample Sunday at BJ's. That's Costco, right? It's sample Saturday at Costco. So like maybe he didn't have fun, and maybe he was overstimulated, and maybe he didn't want to leave that bowling alley, and maybe he was having a fit. You know what I'm saying? Because remember on the dispatch, and I'm just bouncing this off you, but remember on the dispatch when one of the cops said, "Can you please go to Strike and Spare? They were there last night. Make sure he didn't go there to finish his game." Something, not those exact
Oh.
words, but I thought, was he not wanting to go home? Like, did she not let him finish? And did he have that one track mind? You know what I'm saying? You know how they say
Yes.
that? He had a one track mind. He gets his mind on something, and that's it. And then the cop on the dispatch is like, "Hey, can you check Strike and Spare? Make sure he didn't go back to finish his game." I was like, "What?"
That makes a lot of sense.
It's crazy.
I mean,
It's
I
crazy.
could see that happening. Yeah, it is. And, just kind of going off of some of the stuff that said, I don't know how true that is, but allegedly that, Katie likes to drink. Maybe that's her time to just really not
Let
deal with
loose.
Sebastian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it didn't look like she was very involved. I know she tries to make it sound that way, but if he had a thud in his room and she didn't bother to go check and he has an issue with his head, I would have ran in there to see if he was okay.
Correct. Me too. Me too.
I think it was just kind of like, okay, I took you out. We had our moment. Now it's time for me. Go do whatever it is you need to do. Like get lost type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very plausible. And I think, talking about these things kind of takes all the BS that's been added into this case and brings us right back to the beginning. What happened? What made this boy disappear? Right?
Yes.
Thank you for your call.
Yeah, there's got to be fragments in truth. But thank you so much for taking my call. Have a great day.
Absolutely. You too. Have a good night.
Bye.
Phone lines are back open. Some great theories, guys. You guys have some really, really, really good theories. 727-755-6001. Give Rue and I a call. Let us know what you think. Do you think that Katie was chilling on the couch, having a drink, having a glass of wine or two or three? And was just like, I need this kid out of my hair, man. I took him all these fucking places. Why isn't he tired? I don't know. A couple YouTubers showed up at the bowling alley and were kicked off the property. Well, they probably don't want this, I mean, they have an establishment to run. I understand that. Debbie R says, I'm not convinced Chris was not there that night. The PIs said neighbors confirmed he was at the RV at 9 p.m. and he was at work at 5:15 the next morning. I don't see how this confirms where he was. I want to know where he was until 4 p.m. the next day.
From
Butter button.
Buttered Buttons. You are live with Jay. What's up, my dear?
Hey, we got to stop meeting like this, Jay.
I know. How is your week?
We're going to get a reputation.
I'm telling you. I've already got one on these streets. So, Bunny, come along for the ride.
Wouldn't take me long. Will do.
Good to have you here. Good to have you
I
here.
got-
What's your theory? What's on your mind?
When they went to the bowling alley, did he actually bowl? Did they bowl, or did they just hang out and eat, or do
No,
something?
I think they played games. So I think it was it's like a fun center where they have like games where you win tickets, and then I think you like trade them in for prizes. You know, like Dave and Buster's, but small.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. I
The
don't
only
know.
reason I asked, it constantly ran around my head. I'm like, okay, you go to the bowling alley, you got to take your shoes off. You got to put on bowling shoes. And then he just, walks out barefooted and vanishes. And I'm like, what? That was the only reason I asked.
Mhm. Do you think he could have went back to
So,
trying to finish his game if he was ripped away from his game
no.
and he's got a one-track mind?
I don't know. Jay, I've been over everything in my mind. Like, okay, nobody saw him. He didn't get picked up by a camera. Okay, so the UFO came and got him. I'm like, well, the probability is a little low.
BDAC has
And,
just donated $20.
okay, well, he didn't
Always
have a
great
portal,
No portal.
And I don't think he had a cloak of invisibility. So I'm like, what?
Yeah, no ninja. He's not Houdini.
Yeah. There's a hole in the story somewhere.
I just want to know where Chris Proudfoot was until 4 p.m. on the 26th. I think that is extremely odd. I know that he says he talked with law enforcement on the phone most of that day. But come on, man. Your wife calls you at 6:20 a.m. and your ass isn't back till 4 in the afternoon.
Oh, was it that late?
It was 4.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he said he had to get relief and all this other bullshit. But if his ass was there at 5:15, he wasn't even cranking up that crane. They didn't start till 7. So it doesn't make sense. Oh, they said Strike and Spare also has a roller skating rink inside. So it's kind of like a big, like a complex of different things.
Cool.
Yeah. Buttered Buttons, what's wrong? You sound a little down
something going
tonight.
on.
You sound a little down.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm fine.
You sound perplexed.
Thanks for checking, but I am perplexed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they just don't disappear unless they're up in the mountains.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, there's
Lala says check his
something we're
closet for the
missing.
door to Narnia.
Oh my God, that'd be the best next thing.
I mean, it's just downright ridiculous. These things that have been thrown at us like that.
I hope somebody's got some data somewhere. I guess that's the only thing that's going to save this baby.
I know it. And it sounds like they've got that
Anyhow,
all
I'm
locked
off
down
here.
too. Butter
See
Buttons.
what everybody else has got.
All right. Thanks, Butter Buttons. It was wonderful to talk to you as always.
You too, sweetie. Everybody have a good evening.
You too, hon. Have a good rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Butter Buttons. We love some Butter Buttons over here. 727-755-6001. Call me and tell me your theory. Call me and tell me your theory. Thank you so much, Ben. BDAC just generously donated $20 through www.j4j411.live. Thank you so much, Ben. Ben using the J4J tip line and bypassing that YouTube.
Coming in hot, just like the fajita.
From
Liz.
You are live on air with Jay. What's on your mind?
Hi there, Jay. I've got a couple theories, but it mainly gets back to the custody case, and I thought that since that information was made public. But I want to say something before that. I think a lot of people don't understand about the district attorney.
Okay.
Is that when there's a case like that, the law enforcement officers it gets assigned to a detective.
The detective then starts collecting, all the evidence with their team or whatever. Immediately, a DA investigator is brought onto the team because every bit of information that's collected and evidence that's collected has to go to the district attorney because they're the ones presenting the case. So I don't know about that area in California. It's nothing.
I'm glad
not
you brought that
unusual
up
at all.
because that was a question I had. I didn't know if it was automatic because
Well,
the way it was.
in smaller, I'm sorry.
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Like your average crime, that's not going to happen. But they knew they had a situation, especially with, the Summer Wells case. They knew there was going to get a lot of attention, and that's why that happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a DA investigator gets assigned immediately.
Just to make sure everything's covered, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. They tell them exactly what they need. They're helpful in pulling a lot of the records that need to be pulled.
Right.
So
So they were probably strategic with like CPS being involved, being on that end
all of it.
of things too, right? Like if there's CPS case, they can pull that and they can bring it all together for the investigators as one big picture.
Yeah, a lot of times they direct like what they want. Well, we need this, we need that, and they tell them you got to go out and get this, you got to go out and get.
Gotcha. They're
but
more
anyhow,
specific.
My theory has been ever since the custody case was made public was that I think it was a really well planned out disappearance. I think that Chris Proudfoot was not going to lose. I mean, I believe Nina. I mean, a lot of people think she was exaggerating. I've watched that video I don't know how many times, and I don't think she was exaggerating anything.
Mm-hmm.
I believe what she was saying, and I just believe that Chris Proudfoot and his extended family somehow planned it. I think if it would have happened spontaneously, there would have been mistakes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There would have been, and there's not.
There would have been something in that house that would have determined, no, this kid didn't go on his own.
Yeah, or somebody would have had to come to pick him up. I think it looks like he left in her vehicle. I don't see anything any other way. And the other thing I want to say about all of it is that they had plenty of time when they were planning this to know where every single light, every single camera, everything in that neighborhood, they knew all about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Katie sold that stuff. She might have even, this was taken a little bit, but she might have even, when they moved in, went to her neighbors to try and sell them systems and then gained information so she had knowledge about what they had.
Right.
I've heard
I think you're definitely right on that one because she even made mention in one interview that there was only one camera that could pick up their house and it couldn't see anything. So I thought that was interesting that she actually said that. Like she had looked or, some people think she jammed them or, something like that.
Right. Well, one thing I think is interesting too is that the question's never been like, I don't know if I haven't watched every single interview, but it seems like it hasn't been answered why their system was not operating. Have they said that? Why? Because clearly there were cameras up on their house. There's pictures of them.
They said they didn't have any. That was their story.
That's not true. I mean, they may have been inoperational, but there was actually a picture of one of them mounted up on their house.
I'm wondering if that's what wasn't in the trash that day.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just really think it comes back to that custody case. I just think Chris was not, and his mom sounded like she was really invested in the whole thing. I just think they weren't going to lose that custody case, and he could stand the kid anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, neither could his family, from what we know.
Right. Oh, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was really embarrassed by his atypical behavior. I don't think he behaved in a way that, he understood
was acceptable to him.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, Chris Proudfoot is definitely not one to make excuses for somebody, and say and be understanding.
Yeah, and and there was, you could go back to like some of the initial stories about him flirting with the woman at the bar that he always hung out down there when he was away from the house. I don't think he was that into Katie. I think so. I don't think he's covering for Katie. I don't. If Katie really did take a lie detector, a polygraph, and she passed it, then I think it gets back to Chris and his mom planning it. I think she may have had some knowledge about it, but I don't think that. I mean, they had to leave her some plausible deniability because they knew she was going to be the one that was going to be interviewed.
Right.
And he just makes such a big deal, right from the beginning. Oh, he wanted to make sure everybody knew he had an alibi. Well, I was at work.
Yeah. It kind of leaves Katie kind of just out there. Like, you were the only one home. The mom wakes up, her kid's gone. Now, let me ask you this, though. Do you think that it could have been that something happened the night before and maybe Sebastian passed in his sleep? And when she woke him up, he wasn't there, like she said?
Well, and I do think I think that's a possibility too. I think that, uh, Chris might have sent his mom over and, they somehow temporarily put him somewhere so they could deal with it later.
Mhm.
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that one because I think the infinities are key. The fact that Mama Bowersox and Katie both have Infinity SUVs, and then Nancy Grace specifically asked Katie, "What year is your Infinity?" Because I think that's going to be key. I think there's two
Yeah,
infinities in this case, and maybe it was dark, and maybe they didn't have headlights on, but there's something with those infinities. What do you think of that?
yeah, I think that's a possibility too. And I'm the nutcase that said a couple times on other people's channels that if that didn't happen, it really was planned out. That look, these are intelligent people, and they are very well about geodata in vehicles, and they knew. I think that they would be aware that there's a possibility that could be pulled from their vehicles, and so I think there's a possibility if they did plan it that they used some sort of ATV, like maybe got him out of there, then took him through the back somewhere and got out of there, and took him to a place where another family member took him and did whatever with him. So,
Yeah.
if it was planned, in order to avoid detection with the geodata on the vehicles.
I think it's
So,
interesting too. One other thing that just popped in my head is that the garbage was known to be picked up by 6 o'clock, between 5 and 6. So she calls Chris at 6:20, conveniently right after the trash is picked up.
yeah, and I think that exactly, and
That's
I
kind of
think
weird.
that it's interesting. Yeah, but the other thing though, that area is not. It doesn't seem like it's kind of a rural area, so I don't know if their trash gets combined. It sounds like it didn't get combined with trash from more urban areas. So it doesn't seem like it would be too difficult to find something.
Right.
So a day later, they should have been able to find it. So that's why I kind of
Well, yeah, and from the
let that
news
go.
report, they said that they had actually spoke with the garbage man himself that picks up the trash in that neighborhood, and he stated that to them, and that they went out there within a
Right.
week. So, I mean, maybe they did recover something out there, but I mean, maybe if it, like, let's say they threw out all their security stuff and they recovered it, they can't really arrest them for that. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm kind of curious what they do have. I think they might have more than obviously they're letting people know.
Sure, me too.
But and I don't think there was some weird conspiracy with law enforcement, but I will say this. I do think that they're sort of standing in the community and his family's presence in the area and his sister's connection to law enforcement, that they overlooked some stuff initially that should have been investigated.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a cover up, but
Just
you
not
can't go
coming
back.
into it with the right set of eyes.
Exactly.
I think it happens a lot.
Oh, absolutely. It does. Yep.
But I appreciate your call, and thank you so much for all of that wonderful insight.
All right.
You have a good
Talk
rest
to you
of your
later.
week.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye. Thank you so much, caller. You guys are so smart. Like, we have the best fucking callers on YouTube. 727-755-6001. You guys are the smartest, most well thought out audience in this genre. Call me. 727-755-6001. It's getting hot in here, folks.
So hot in here.
Call from. Hold, please.
You are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Danielle from Washington.
Danielle from Washington. What's on your mind?
So I agreed a lot with your last caller, and I believe something happened in the garage. And in the morning, when she said she was going to look for Sebastian, that she dropped him off somewhere, and Chris picked him up and went back for 17 hours with the trailer to get the trailer and took him.
Took him, you mean, and like dumped him somewhere?
Yeah, like hit him better, like buried him something.
Moved him.
And then moved him, yes. So I think when Katie said she was going to drive to look for him in the morning, she got rid of him that way. One of my other theories I thought about was maybe carbon monoxide in the garage.
Yeah, I had
that
thought
he was
that
sleeping
too.
in there.
That crossed my mind
So
as well.
that's all I got.
And you know what? I thought of that when she mentioned the thud. I thought,
Yes.
oh my God, was he in the garage having a fit? Was the car on? And did he just fall?
Or she told him she was warming it up for him. I think it was well planned, like your last caller said also. I don't think it was like she got mad and did something violent. I think it was something planned.
Yeah, they're too cocky. They're too sure of themselves.
Well, that, and she's a woman, and I do see some kind of love from her with Sebastian.
The mom with Katie?
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it bothers me. I want to make excuses for her, kind of, because I don't want it to be true.
Because she's fucked up from how she was raised. That's why.
Oh, yes, and there's a definite disconnect.
For sure. I agree. Sorry about that.
You're good. So
My guard
anyhow,
dogs.
that's all I got for you.
Well,
But
thank you
I'm
so
curious
much.
to find out what it is.
Yes, thank you so much for
All
your
right.
thoughts. Appreciate you.
My 9-year-old yelling
Aw,
Heidi. All right, thank
hi.
you.
All right, you guys have a good week.
You too. Thank
All
you.
right, bye-bye. Aw, her 9-year-old. Hello, sweetheart.
Exhibit E.
Oops.
EXHIBITY.
Oops, I meant to give her applause.
Awesome.
You are live on air with Jay. What's on your mind?
Hey,
Hello.
I have a question. Do you think that Chris would back her if he weren't involved? You think he would be as protective as he is?
Can you say that again?
Do you think Chris Proudfoot would be as protective of Katie as he has been if he weren't involved, if he were really not there?
No, I think he'd throw her under the bus in a heartbeat.
I do too, and I can't get past that he was there. And the main reason that I don't think that little child roamed out is because I don't care how much you dislike somebody. If you wake up and your child is gone, the first thing you're going to do is say, call your ex and say, I can't find Sebastian. Have you heard from him? And okay, I'm calling the police. Get over here and help me look. So, the fact that they didn't notify staff just makes me have creeps. I can't imagine that. I just don't think he left. I think he did. And the reason I think they did, I don't think they necessarily wanted him there. I think it was going to be a big problem for her and Chris. But if they had given him to Seth, they'd have been having to pay child support for the rest of, however. I don't know how long they'd had to pay child support, but I promise they weren't looking to pay Seth any money. I don't know. It's too weird. This is driving me crazy.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anything is possible.
Right.
But
Right.
but
Okay.
his protection over her is crazy to me. And
The what?
like him protecting her, like him saying,
Oh
"I'm
yeah. I
protecting
don't.
my wife." Either he's just saying that because he doesn't want her to talk because she'll fuck things up.
Right.
Maybe that's the reason why. Like,
I don't get that at all because if he wasn't there, all he would have to say is, "I just don't know." Yeah, I wasn't there. I don't know.
right.
And all this, I don't know. I think they did something to that little child.
No, I agree with
But
you. Inserting himself when he wasn't even
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Hmm.
And the fact that they didn't, because they both said the only place he knew to go was to his daddy's house or the ice cream shop. Okay, call the daddy and get him looking and then drive by the ice cream shop. And they didn't do either.
You're
And that
right.
little child wouldn't have had any place to go. And I don't think, he's gonna take a flashlight and leave his shoes and his coat and his phone.
Right.
I just none of that works for me. But
What do
anyway,
you
okay.
think the
Well, I
motive
hope
would be? Do you think it was an accident or do you think it was planned? You think it was definitely
you,
planned? Well
well
planned.
to me it would if Chris were there, and I think he were. I think that he wanted to get rid of him. I think he wanted to give him to Seth, but I don't think they wanted to pay child support. I can't decide. I think what happened was they were trying to get him to bed or having a fight, or I don't know. Maybe he got in the middle of them, a fight between them. But I think at some point, not Seth, I think at some point Chris grabbed him, and when he grabbed him, that little kid started clawing and biting, and I think he slung him into the wall, and then it was on from there. And I don't know. I don't know if they were trying to do something intentionally or if it was just a fight. But those marks on his arms bother me, and that thud. When I grew up, if you heard a thud, somebody was getting knocked into a wall.
Exactly. It's a concerning sound. I mean, that's how I think of it too.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
anyway,
think
there's
you have some
that.
really
But,
valid points. Thanks a lot for your
you
call.
know, I love your show. Keep it
Well,
up.
thank you so much. I appreciate you listening.
Bye bye.
Bye. Yeah, no shoes, no coat, just not going to happen, right? 727-755-6001. Call and tell me what your theory is on this case. You guys all think, a lot of you actually think it was well planned out. Let's do another poll. Let's do another poll. 727-755. Here we go. We got a caller. Two of them at once.
Call from
You are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Northern Beans.
Northern Beans. How's it going, girl?
Good.
Good
How
to
are
hear
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to hear from you.
Wonderful. Yeah, so let's maybe play out a little scenario here. So what if, like one of the other callers said, that they got home and Sebastian was just full of energy, and she said, look, let's go. You go outside and get your chores done, do this, this, and this, and don't come back in until it's done. Maybe she locked the door and decided to have a little wine, got on the phone with Chris, and forgot all about Sebastian. I don't know. That's
And
just one of
what
my
do you think
theories.
happened though?
I'm thinking maybe he just
Walked
left
away.
then, and yeah, and who knows what could have happened to him along the way.
Could be like
But
met foul
yeah,
play after he left the house.
but then I'm also thinking, what if maybe Chris did come back home at some point because of your ruckus videos? I'm still trying to make sense of those, by the way.
I know, me too.
But with the ruckus videos, what if maybe he wasn't doing what he was told, and Chris is like, all right, I'm coming home. I'll deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
Then it wasn't at the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
so or just before the weekend.
It was
So he comes home because he hasn't been there since the beginning of February, right?
right.
He's like, well, why not? I'm going to go deal with it. So
Like,
then
I'm
he gets
over it. I'm
home
done with this
and
kid, man.
yeah, and there's some sort of a ruckus outside, and the only thing I can think of is how they got him away from there would have been through Katie's vehicle in the garage. That's my only thought. If he didn't walk off on his own and nobody else broke in, maybe one of Chris's family members, who knows what. If nobody broke in there and took him away from there, then what's the other option?
I don't know, but I just had
They
a
took
thought
him out
about
of
the
there.
infinities.
I know.
What if
So,
Katie really didn't have the baby blue infinity? What if Bauer socks? What if that was her baby blue infinity? And like Katie
right.
had the gray one and Sebastian was in that, and they did a switcheroo of the cars, not of
Yes, I
Sebastian.
didn't even think of that. Yep, that
Because
could be too.
it's
I didn't even
so
think of that.
weird in the dispatch. I can't get it out of my head. The lady that says the mother's driving around in a baby blue infinity. Just the way she says
Yeah,
it just sounds weird to me. I don't know.
right.
I would love to know.
Who knows? I think, there's probably only a few, if that, people that do really know what's going on
Mm-hmm.
and the sweet Lord above. So hopefully answers will be provided sooner rather than later. As with Sweet Baby Summer, I think of all these poor children every day.
I know it's so sad.
It breaks my heart. But wishing you a wonderful summer. I got through. I'm so happy about
Oh,
that.
I'm
Woo
glad you
woo.
called. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your
Thank you.
week.
You have a good
You
night.
too.
Bye
All right,
bye.
bye. What a wonderful caller. You guys are so nice. You guys are the greatest callers in the tubes. 727-755-6001. I'm seeing your chats. You guys think that Seth has acted weird. I don't disagree with that fact. But because he's been weird and he's acted strange and done inappropriate things doesn't mean he did anything to Sebastian. But I think you guys are spot on when your instinct kicks in and tells you something ain't right, right? We know when something ain't right. There's just so much in this case.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Call from
731. You're gonna have to try again.
to accept.
You got
press
beat
1. To
again.
send a voicemail.
You are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Hey, it's Titties.
Hi, Titties. How are you tonight?
I'm
Titties, you've been
good.
busy up in
Enjoying.
this community. I've been seeing your ass. I've been
I
seeing
have,
your
and
ass. What's on your mind, girl?
I just told Tiny Needle I was going to step away, and here I am calling in.
You just can't do it, can you?
I'm really bothered by something, and I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
So in the first interview they gave on YouTube, Katie slips up and says she went to bed at 10, right? She doesn't correct the interviewer. And she says, oh, you went to bed at 10 on the couch. You fell asleep, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the second interview she gives, Katie emphasizes that she fell asleep at 12. Like, that's the time she went to bed.
Yes.
I think this is what I think. I think her phone's moving, obviously, at 12, right? Because of something. And she has to say, oh, that's the time I went to bed. I think maybe that's when the act took place. What do you think about that?
I think that's very smart. I mean, you're right, because they can even tell. I mean, we learned that in the Murdaugh trial, that they can even tell when your phone is vertical or horizontal. Like,
yeah, so
you can tell everything.
Yeah, so I think they messed up. Well, she messed up. And then so the next second interview she gave, she had to emphasize like 3 times that she went to bed at midnight, if you listen to that clip. It's insane.
Yeah, they really want us to focus on 9 to 12, but then they give nothing from 12 to 6. And then Chris says, I think something happened between 12 and 6. And then the dispatcher says the mom said he was in by midnight. So this midnight.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, so this midnight is coming up time and time again. Right? after
know,
midnight.
man.
And then we have the TBI poster, which says seen on the 26th, which would be after midnight.
Yeah, there's something about that midnight. What do you think happened at midnight?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I am stumped at this point. Like, I think I have several theories, but I don't know if I want to say them yet. Because
Okay.
they are
No,
so, I
it's
mean,
okay.
like for each person, I have a theory because I think each person could have a motive. So, like, to go with that motive, I have a theory for each person that they could have possibly done. And then maybe I'll work
Right.
together. But my main end result, whatever happened, happened. I don't know who was the person who, could have done the unaliving. I don't know who's the one that could have hid him or anything like that. But I think as it stands right now, and this is just my opinion only, I can't shake it. I think all three know that Sebastian is no longer with us, but I think only one knows where he is.
Mm.
And I think that is strategically done so they can't rat him out. They can't say where it is. And without the body, they may have a hard time if they plan this, strategically. So I think only one person may actually know where he is, because the only person out of the three who hasn't said these exact words, I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is. Frantic was Chris. Just saying.
Right. And remember when that photo came out of that poor boy at that park? He was the first one to jump on and say that is not Sebastian. He was so sure of himself.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yep.
I feel like he's not in the landfill that they searched. I feel bad even saying that, but I feel like he's in a landfill, and then so that's how Katie can honestly say, I don't know where he's at.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Unless
did
she
pass a
truly
poly.
doesn't. Because that you could actually pass the polygraph, right? If you don't know where he is.
Right.
If you're asked, do you
Oh,
know where
God.
Sebastian is? No, I don't. I don't know. I mean, it's just something that's really crossed my mind. And it is. It's like Lila said, it's like a real life game of Clue.
Did we ever hear anything else about that man by the tree line
No.
from the dispatch?
Nope.
That's kind of shady, too.
It is. That whole dispatch
That
is
someone
weird.
was out there. Yeah, that someone was out there that early, boots on the ground searching for a missing kid. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me.
It's very weird. Nothing about this sits right. And I just hope that it's because it's part of an investigation. And
Yes,
hopefully
me
it'll
too.
all
After
make
100
sense.
days, yeah, after 100 days, I hope they're busy building a case.
Yeah, me too. With no word, and they're not asking for the public's help. I think that's something that is really telling. Okay. Because, like, when a
Right.
kid's missing,
Right.
like, look at Michael Monkey Vaughn. They're plastering his face on trucks. The parents are standing next to the police at the press conferences. They're asking for the public's help. All these things that are not happening here. They don't even say, hey, keep an eye out for Sebastian. They're just saying to the property owners, check your property.
Yeah, how weird.
Right.
How weird is that?
It doesn't sound hopeful, even coming from them.
Well, I know you followed Summer Wells pretty closely, right? I didn't. I was just wondering if this is typical for them to not ask for the public's help. Is this like typical for that police
Well, in
department?
Summer Wells, we did get press conferences in the beginning quite often because they did this massive search. And we did get quite a few, but then it just went silent. It went completely silent. And then Summer Wells' father, everyone suspected the parents. The mom was the last one to see her. And, their stories weren't adding up, and neither was their life and the things that they were doing in their life. Well, long story short, the dad gets arrested for a DUI, and we all think, oh my God, this is going to be the break in the case. Like, they've got him on that, and, they're going to get something out of him. Nothing. He did his time and was released. And we're just like,
frustrating.
what? And there's been nothing. I mean, on the anniversary, they do put out something. But other than that, silent. Parents are running around in different states. Their other kids were taken away by CPS. So I don't know how people can be neglectful enough for their child to go missing and then their other 3 to be taken away, but they still don't charge them with anything. Not even neglect.
That is surprising. That's surprising.
Right? So it's like, and it's been 3 years.
Wow.
It's
that poor baby.
Yeah. It's just like, what's going on here? Why no word? I don't know.
Well, thank you for letting me jump on.
Oh,
I'll let someone
anytime,
else
titties. You're always welcome up here.
You're so sweet. I'll go back down and chat.
All
okay?
right. Thank you for your call.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tit for Tat. Julia, if you have something about astrology, I'm super interested. If you could email me that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. The phone lines are back open. 727-755-6001. I need to get another drink, though. Hold that call. I'll be back in. Oh, shit.
Call from
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. You are live on air with Jay.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but I wanted to tell you a couple of things.
Sure. Go
that-
right ahead.
Yeah. So I had noticed on Nancy Grace, I don't see it coming up a lot in the podcast, but I noticed that she got Chris to admit that he had been home more often in February than he had told other people. So that was, something. And the other thing is, I've also heard that there were no footprints found when he left the house. So the other thing is that I heard on a podcast that Chris at first stated that the nightmare began that day before. He said that this is when the nightmare began.
And here we are.
So what do you think about all
I
that?
think he ended that with, and here we are. That's when the nightmare
Yeah.
began, and here we are.
So it sounds like something happened the night before the day that they thought he left at the wee hours of the morning.
Right. Right. Something during that 3-hour time frame, possibly.
Yeah, and do you know if it's ever been found by police that he was where he was during that entire night?
They haven't said. They definitely have not said. The only thing that we did hear, like I said earlier on the dispatch, was the mention of strike and spare. And that they had been there and they wanted someone to go check and make sure he didn't go back to play his game. And then I can't remember if dispatch mentioned the restaurant. I can't recall.
And was his mom seen at the restaurant or that
Allegedly.
evening?
This all comes from Seth. So you have to take that, from the source. He claims
Yeah,
that he
I must
saw,
have missed that part.
Yeah. He claims, LE never said, I don't believe, maybe someone in chat will correct me, but I don't believe law enforcement ever said anything about him being with his mom at a restaurant. I believe, I remember Seth saying that he got video of them in the parking lot of Sebastian and his mother, but I heard that it was only the backs of their heads.
I heard on another cast or that he was seen. Our Chris's mom was seen at a grocery store.
I heard that too.
So is that in that same area?
Yeah, the store they're talking about is called Warsham's, and it's right across the street pretty much from Sebastian's high school. And it was said on Web Sleuths when Chris was on there and Seth was on there with him, he called in. Chris had or Chloe the PI had stated that she heard from several people that Chris's mother was seen on cameras at Warsham's at I think 5:50 or something that morning. And then Chris lost his he lost his shit. That was when he went off on the Web Sleuths podcast. Was when his mother and because Seth said there's a rumor that your mother has Sebastian. And then Chloe kind of doubled down and said, yeah, I had people personally come up to me and tell me that. And he lost it. And for him to change like that, it was just like, boom, he was just pissed. Yeah, I mean, Angela in chat just said he went ballistic when he heard that. That's definitely a good term to explain it. So what do you think of that?
Well, I'm wondering this. Do you know what time it was that someone saw a kid with a bag on his head in a van?
I would have to go back through the dispatch, but I believe that was at like 8:30 in the morning. It was like really early. It was early on. It was early in the morning. I know that much because I was like, damn, how did anybody even know he was missing to be calling in tips?
And no one ever confirmed anything about the van, right?
Right.
The work van.
Right. No. Only
Yeah,
that
so that's all.
only
very
that
odd.
Katie said that it hadn't moved, right?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
Lots to think about, huh?
that's really odd. I can't imagine a mother unaliving her child on purpose, but maybe the sleeping medicine or something like that could have happened and she needed help what to do after that.
Yeah.
And met the mom at early hours in the morning, and then something about the van. I mean, it just is weird.
It's very weird. Well, thank you for your call.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week.
All right. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for your call. I am gonna go grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 seconds. And I'm back. No, that wasn't long. My house is not very big, so no radio silence. Oh, I thought you were saying I was radio silent, Pine Needle. 727-755-6001. Give me a call. Let me know your theory. You guys have had some really, really, giving me a lot to think about. Hi, Miss Robin. Let me come over to chat and see. I wanted to thank Shell for her super sticker. Michelle, welcome to the Clickers. Thank you for joining. The mods can let you guys know how to become one of the Clickers.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man. Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
SQ Tier Hog, thank you so much. And T Dub. And look at Ryan Apple Snapple celebrating a year with us.
God almighty.
I love it. Love you, Ryan. 1 year. Wow. Laura Williams. Granny joined earlier. I think these are from earlier, but thank you, Granny and Missing Echoes. Just want to get through those. And thank you again for your super chat, Island Thrifties, and Melissa B for your membership gift. 727-755-6001. Our poll stands with 234 votes, 35 votes, 73% planned, and 27% say unplanned with Sebastian's disappearance.
From
Linda.
Hello, you are live with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Linda
Hello, Miss
from
Linda.
Kentucky.
How's your night?
Hey.
How's your night, babe?
Just got off work just a little bit ago.
Oh,
It's been
shit.
kind of stressful.
Put your feet up. Put your feet up. What's on your mind?
My theory really hasn't changed since the beginning. I mean, in my opinion, Katie knows exactly what happened, and I'm thinking within that 3 hours between 9 and 12, that's when arguments flared, and God only knows what happened. So that really hasn't changed. And the thing with him sleeping in the garage, it would have been very easily to put him in Katie's vehicle. And then when she left to ride by the school or whatever, hunting for him, as she said, I kind of lean toward them switching vehicles because of Chris's mom being right across the road. I mean, that's kind of odd.
Yep.
Because she went up to the school looking for him, and then all of a sudden there's Chris's mom sitting at the store right across, So, they could have switched vehicles.
Right. Well, then you got to
Easily.
think about Mama Bowersox was there when the police got there, right? At 8 or whatever time it was. When everybody was there, because remember they said there was 4 people plus the mom on the dispatch.
Yeah.
So at 8:30, there was 4 people plus the mom. We know that Mama Bowersox was the first one to get over there because Chris said his mom ran over there. And she lives like 20 minutes away. So my question is, were there 2 Infinities at that house when the police were there? Was one in the garage and one in the driveway? Or did Chris Proudfoot have the other Infinity with Sebastian, and were Mama and Katie there with the Infinity in the garage? Because Nancy Grace
Very
was
possible.
specific about that. She was like, was your Infinity in the driveway that morning? No, ma'am. Where was your Infinity? Was it in the garage? Yes, ma'am. And then she asked about other vehicles in the drive. It was just weird. The other vehicles being asked about, and then where her Infinity was, what year her Infinity was. That all came from Nancy Grace. And I just feel like those were strategic questions.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been watching other channels. Actually, I have alerts on my phone, like when you do a broadcast or something, I get alerted, and I was at work when a lot of them went off. But one thing that really, really bothers me is I got a news alert. Apparently TBI was, charging somebody with something other in Sumner County from the election in 2020 and 2022 or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I was at work. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait a minute. You're worried about that, and we have children out here missing, and we're not getting any feedback from anybody. And that really infuriates me to the max.
Oh, I agree. Why are not children our priority?
Exactly.
everywhere with everything. Why do they not come first?
That's what I was thinking myself. You know, they're worried about a fraudulent election.
Yep.
I could care less about that.
Right.
We got kids missing.
Yeah, let's get our CPS system in order, right? Let's get pedophiles
Right,
out of the
exactly.
foster system so they're not adopting children. I mean,
Well, I
it
just
pisses
gotta
me
say
off.
this. You know,
Yeah.
I feel, in my opinion, Katie is guilty. I mean, she was the only one that was there with him. She knows what happened. And another thing is they don't even act like they care about this poor child.
I agree.
I mean, they're going out shopping for motorcycles. They haven't put up any billboards as they say they were going to a while back, or was trying to, or something. But they show no sympathy, no nothing for this child.
Right.
And I mean, in my opinion, I mean, she's guilty. And Chris.
Yeah. You think that
Because
they
I
both
do
have a
believe
hand in
Chris had a hand in it.
it?
But my theory, I mean, something happened in that house that night after they got home.
When she told him to go to bed, and he did.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you think he didn't?
He might have been overstimulated from the day, because
I don't think he wanted to
that
go to
does happen. But I mean, my mom used to tell me, you know, go to bed.
Right.
I went to the bedroom, you know, but that don't mean I went to sleep right away.
Right, but why did
But
she
I
have
do
to
not
add
sleep.
that in though? Like, I told him to go to bed. Okay, fine. Like, I told him to go to bed, and then she had to go, and he did, and then she laughed. So it's almost like he didn't. Like something happened. She wanted him out of her hair, and he wouldn't.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, did she lock him out? Did you know?
She could have over medicated him, and with his overstimulation from the day, if she did over medicate him, you got two things going against each other, and that poor child had no clue what to do or what was going on.
Right.
I mean, think about it. If you're hyped up from a long day or a hard day, you know, you've been physically just going, and then, you know, you throw something in your system to calm you down, it's more likely going to clash, and it's, you know, not going to be good for quite a little bit.
Right.
And especially with kids, you know, with autism and the other medical problem that he had as well. Because my granddaughter has autism. So, I mean, they can get overstimulated. And then if you try to if you over-medicate them, well, I'll, you know, say, for instance, well, I'll give him an extra pill or whatever the case may be. Okay, the overstimulation is still going, but the medication is getting in his system, and it's trying to do its thing, but the overstimulation is still going. It's going to clash.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, who knows what he was taking at night? Who knows what he was given at night?
Exactly. See, that's another thing. You know, what kind of medication did she give him?
I mean, look at, I don't know if you followed the Crumbley's case, Ethan Crumbley, but his mom was, saying that they were just feeding him Xanax. So they didn't have to deal with them,
I know people that, I hate to say this, but I do know, I know people that would do that. And, my honest opinion, they need to be tossed in the jail cell and the key thrown away. Anybody to harm a child
I'm with you.
don't need to be out here walking the street,
Nope.
in my
One
opinion.
strike, you're out.
Exactly.
And they don't get any better. I mean, let's face it. Predators, they don't
No.
get better. They get worse.
But that leads back to the judicial system, the law enforcement, blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
On down the line. Because things are more lenient now than they were when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And you can't discipline your child. You can't do this. You can't do that.
I will say
okay.
in the state of Florida, though, they do now have that if anybody rapes a child, they're eligible for the death penalty automatically.
Well, I
Step
think
in the
that's
right
a good
direction,
thing.
right? I mean, it sets a precedence.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, anybody that would do harm to a child, they don't need to be walking free, in my opinion. They really don't.
I agree.
I mean, I feel my heart really goes out for Sebastian, and I've been watching this case since day one. Because my granddaughter has autism. She's high spectrum. And, even though she's younger, way younger than Sebastian, it doesn't matter. She has autism, just like Sebastian did.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the day he had, right? I mean, just going to a big warehouse store, going to a bowling alley / gaming center / rolling rink, then going to the damn loud ass Texas Roadhouse for dinner. I'm gonna need
that would overstimulate
Oh
me.
my god! Like I'm needing a nap. Like I'm good. Like I'd be good after.
Yeah, I need a nap.
I'd be good after the box store. You know what I'm saying? Like be like, okay, y'all go on to the damn bowling alley.
Exactly.
I'm going home. That's how I am. So I imagine Sebastian. God, that's a lot.
Yeah, I cannot. I cannot. I mean,
The Texas Roadhouse is not quiet either. That place is loud.
It
AF.
isn't.
You can't even
I
hear
know.
yourself.
I went last year, and I'm going to try to stay away from that place because I don't really like it anyway, and number two, it is loud. You can't even talk to people at your own table.
No, you can't.
You're having to scream just so they can hear you.
Mm-hmm. And for a kid that doesn't like loud noises, that's the last place you'd want to be.
Yeah.
And if they went there at 6:30, so she told
That
him to go
was
to bed at
right out-
9. He only had a few hours to wind down. Like, it just doesn't sound right.
And that's not enough.
Mm-mm. Not after all that. Not after that whole day. But I agree with you. I don't know.
Here's my thing. I'm looking at his picture right now, and my heart just goes out to him. But the parent, Katie and Chris, the parents failed him. CPS failed him because I believe that he tried to reach out the best he knew how when he told the teacher, what he told her. I honestly believe Sebastian was trying to reach out in the best way that he knew how. He was trying to reach out for help.
He did what he was supposed to do. And you know what? So did Madeline Soto. If she told
And they,
somebody, like she obviously fought back, told him no, whatever the case was, she wasn't having it.
yeah, I mean,
And
the
it's
way I see
scary
it is. I mean,
because we tell our
who's
kids,
who's
to
going to
tell
help these
somebody. I
children?
know. And then when I heard Seth say that Sebastian was told, no, you don't tell people at school these stories, you talk to your therapist, like, I don't like that because I would tell my kids, like, even if you don't want to tell me, if someone does something to you, tell your teacher. Like, I would never tell my kid not to trust their teacher unless I was the
No,
one doing shit. You know what I mean?
but I think honestly that poor baby tried to reach out to people the best way he knew how, and everybody has failed him.
Everybody. Yep.
Yeah, law enforcement, CPS, the parents, Katie and Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, they have all failed that child, and it breaks my heart. It really, truly does.
I agree with you, caller. I do.
But that really just burned me up because I was at work. I hadn't got off work when I got the message about the TBI thing with the election.
Oh, yeah.
And I seen it and I looked at it and I'm like, really?
These are our priorities. Yeah.
You know, who cares about the election? That was year 2020, 2022. You know, this is 2024. We have children missing. How about not worrying about the election stuff right now?
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's frustrating.
It is, and that's why I honestly believe in my heart that these kids ain't getting found is because law enforcement and whoever else is involved is failing these children. And it truly needs to stop.
Well, I think
I
that,
mean, I
in
was
my
born and raised in Tennessee.
but in my opinion, I think, these parents are failing these children and how is this slipping through the cracks? How do we have so many people not taking care? I mean, we have 3 parents. Chris, Katie, and Seth.
So,
They had one job with one child. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't.
I don't either. And I've tried to wrap my brain around it. Like I said, I have been following this since day one. And, you know, when Katie does say something, you can't believe her on a stack of Bibles from here to heaven.
Right.
And you sure can't believe Chris.
No.
I mean, take what they say with a grain of salt because that one's going to be hard to swallow.
I agree. Well, thank
But,
you
I
for your
mean,
call. I
you
want to
know,
let other people call in. But I do appreciate you, calling in and giving your insight on that. It's a really
yeah,
good
well, I just think all
it's a
of
really
them
good
have failed
point that
him.
you made there with, getting that robocall. Like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What a joke.
All right, well, you have a good day,
You
Jay.
too, and enjoy the rest of your week.
All right, you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Sorry, that one went a little bit longer. 423. I have a wait, who is it? A 423. Call me back. Oh, this is 540. All right, 423. Wait for the next one.
Call from.
You are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Jay, I'd rather just not say because of what I'm getting ready to say.
Sure,
if
what's
that's
up?
okay.
Yeah,
okay?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, just hypothetically, what? Okay, we all know that Chris and his family are extremely manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if because of they wanted Sebastian out of the house? Let's just say because we know he was trying to get Seth to take Sebastian. He was trying to convince Katie to let Sebastian go. I think it was because of the problems they were having with CPS. I think also it was because of the court case with Nina. I think that's the motive. Now, what if Chris and the family somehow convinced Katie and Seth to say, this is a situation, what if they manipulated Katie and Seth into just letting him go away for a while? I don't have all this thought processed out, but I'm just saying Chris he tries to control Seth. He obviously controls Kate. He has been controlling the narrative from the very beginning. He got really, really mad when he talked about his mom.
Yes.
I think it was planned, and I say this: they could manipulate Seth and Katie because Katie says, "I don't know where he's at." Seth keeps saying, "I want to find my son."
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that bothers me the most is Chris saying, "Seth, you know what happened." So what if Chris manipulated Seth and Katie somehow to just let Sebastian? They were telling the parents, "We're just going to take him away for a little bit." But now they can't get him back. They don't know where he's at.
They truly don't know where he is.
I don't think that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chris and that family, because of what they did, I have sat and I thought, my God, to wrap my head around what they did to Nina.
Yes.
I can't think those thoughts. I wish I could.
Yeah, it's insane.
But when you think about it, he's controlled everything. He is so controlling. He is so when you go back to Motivable, he's the only person that would have a reason for Sebastian in this whole scenario to be gone. It's Chris. He's the one that's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that they manipulated something, and from the very, very beginning of all this made me think in my gut, those parents thought he was going to come back. But now he hasn't come back. Now, could he still be alive, or could he be not alive? I don't know. I mean, there's so many ways we go about it. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that maybe the family, Chris and the family. I mean, who calls up the father and says, "I don't want you to be mad, but we can't find Sebastian"? Who says that?
Yeah, it's very weird.
I mean, the whole thing is weird. It's not normal. And so I do think that Seth and Katie, I think, were duped. And I think that because there was like I said, I haven't had enough time to think through, well, why would Seth do that, or why would Katie do that? I mean, I haven't had enough time to think that through. But as you were talking earlier, I just got to thinking, my God, what if that family manipulated these to get rid of Sebastian so that, they could have Faith come, or I'm telling you, if they did that.
Yeah, because they're all about their own.
Yeah, that is exactly right. And they went by, remember when JLR went by the house and they were like looking at him and getting out of the car and taking him. I'm like, who does that? What?
They were
JLR
very aggressive.
has got extremely. I mean, that's not normal. He has got a platform to where he could have just talked to them for a few minutes and just, nobody.
No, they were like,
they're hiding.
They were running from him, basically. It reminded me of the laundries all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Hiding.
They're hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They have not come out, and you know what really got me? And I know that maybe, if you get a random text, you're not going to be too nice, but I reached out to the Bauer Sox and I asked them
Mm-hmm.
if they, had any statement that they wanted to make on behalf of Sebastian, their step grandson. And literally, Terry, the stepdad, put
Mm-hmm.
NAH. Nah. Like, not even no
Yeah.
thank you. Nah. That said to me, they don't give a shit.
I really do think, and I hope law enforcement's listening to us, because like I said, this is all alleged, but something's got to turn in the case. And I don't know, when you all were talking before, and it just kind of hit me, I'm like, well, Katie and Seth don't know where he's at, and Chris has been controlling the narrative, and it was a family deal with Nina. And so if this is such a well-oiled plan, because there's no nothing. He's not anywhere in any way, shape, or there's no clothing, there's no scent, there's no
Nothing.
footprint, there's no camera, there's nothing. And so I just want to ask this, and I would like to know, what was Terry and Kathy's vehicle? What was the make? What was the model? What was the color of their RV or their motor coach? The day that Sebastian was going. I'm hoping law enforcement's listening to everybody. It's time to look a little bit further out of the, three people, because I'm trying to find that out. I don't know if you know, Jay, what that vehicle was, what color it was.
I just know about the Infinities. I know that Katie has one and Miss Bauer Sox has the other. And
Mhm.
I don't know whose is supposed
Well,
to be what color, because there's a gray one and there's the baby blue one.
But think of this thought. So what if they're that smart to know, well, yeah, there's cameras down there at the store. Yeah, there's trail cameras. So I'll go over here and set, 5:45 in the morning. I'm going to go out and get a cup of coffee and, wait on the call. What was the ruse, because they know that everybody would call in. 6 people called in and said, hey, we saw her. So let's talk about that RV. Let's talk about, because they left to go to Alaska. They left, which my understanding in the vehicle was not norm for them. I could be incorrect about that, but that was not a normal way for them to go. It was something that was kind of out of the ordinary. I think it was like 2 days or whatever, 4 days after Sebastian. That makes no sense either. So that's why I'm just want to put it out there. Let's find the vehicle. Let's get, we have the right to look and talk and ask, and because Sebastian's gone and we got nothing. So I just really do. I just wonder if something hadn't happened, some type of an agreement, and they manipulated them. Like Katie and Sebastian thought, well, he'll be back in a week. Once that case was over or whatever, so that he couldn't testify or whatever. We don't have enough information about
But
that.
do you
But
think
let's
he's
just,
still with us, or like, what's your theory on that?
well, here again, I don't have enough information, but one thing could be that, if I find out, because we just went through the Daybell case, and that was so bad, so horrible, so manipulative, so planned,
despicable.
Well, and there's just more that I'm sure, because I've looked. So let me just say this: if I find out that those people killed Sebastian, did something to Sebastian, I'm telling you what, this community, this tribe, I hope nobody ever lets it go until justice is served. It took 5 years, but it took everybody. It took a lot of people behind the scenes bringing all this forth for the children and for Charles and for Brandon and for Tammy.
Yeah.
Now, I hope to God they weren't that evil. But when you listen to Nina say, you know, that the sister back up over, you know, run over him. You know, she is trying to get the kids. That interview was traumatizing to all of us. I mean, my gosh, you could still see the effects. And I believe her. I do. I believe her. So when I see going down and getting, Katie to do the cell phone while they're at the airport to set her up to look like she was crazy so they could serve her a piece of paper that was nothing about the court case the following week. This to me, I mean, what lengths would they go to? Because I don't think they were through with Nina. You know, they were still hot and heavy about getting Faith.
Right.
That was always the goal. Get Faith. That was their goal.
He wanted,
and just
full
because,
custody.
Yes, and they and the mom, and so because Chris is like, whatever. There's some other things that I saw on his Facebook page. I don't know if he shut it down, that are very concerning to me about alternative ways. I mean, people can do whatever they want to. I understand that, but we got Sebastian missing. So I'm suspect about everything. I mean, if you tell me if you put on your Facebook page about a swingers, I'm like, well, what was we doing here? And then we go back and we look at some of the things that Katie had actually put as her names of her, whether it was X or whatever it was. My concern is, but I just wonder, I mean, I'm not saying to anybody, we've all made mistakes in life, but I think the motivation was Faith. I think the motivation was to get Sebastian away while this trial was getting ready to come up. Because if he was supposed to testify or he had been hit by Chris, I know that was alleged. I don't have the facts on that. I don't shouldn't be saying that out here. But I'm just saying that's what I'm thinking. And we got to go down a path. I'm just saying that's the path because I think it was planned. I'm not saying that Katie couldn't have done something to Sebastian,
right.
as far
You're
as,
talking
hurting
motive-wise,
over
you think Chris has the
Yeah, but
strongest motive to do
he's the only one that's got a motive. There isn't anybody else in the game that's got a motive other than him and the family
And
wanting.
let's face it, like he wasn't getting Katie on board with giving Sebastian to Seth. As bad as Seth wanted him, he still said she was not on board and Chris was quote unquote working on her. So that bothers
Exactly,
me
but
that these two guys were talking behind Katie's back and making a plan to get rid of Sebastian. And that bothers me. And then I go to the CPS records and I know that he swears up and down, it has nothing to do with him. But we don't know that yet because no one's been cleared, right?
Right. And here's the other thing. In the very beginning, I remember Seth saying that Chris had called him and said, marriage is not going good. The marriage was not going good. So if you look at it this way. Katie and Seth have this child that just Chris is a problem. He's a problem. He's not a child to Chris. He's not, I mean, the way he's treated, the way he talks to him, and all that. This kid, so he's done with Katie. He's done with Katie. He's, marriage is on the rocks. And he's got Seth over here that, yeah, well, we play video games sometimes and we talk or whatever. But Chris wanted to get rid of Sebastian. So he talked to Seth, hey, let me help you out because the marriage isn't going good. So, good time for us to make a plan.
Right.
And so that was the way he could manipulate.
So is that when he got Seth the job and started to get Seth on his feet, so to speak?
I'd have to go back and look at dates and all that as far as that goes, because I mean, Chris takes the credit for a lot of things, but Seth is the one that had to pass the test. I'm not saying he wasn't encouraging Seth, but I just think that he was done with Katie. Marriage is on the rocks. He wanted to get rid of Sebastian. Well, I just think that he pulled up some kind of plan to. It could have been that Chris was manipulating Katie. Well, if you let him go down with Seth, maybe we can work, because they're very, very manipulative people. Yeah, they're manipulative. So however they got everybody to agree to get Sebastian to go somewhere, but something happened, and that's just one theory. Because of listening to you all this evening, it just hit me. I was like, my God, what if he manipulated Seth and Katie, and they thought he was coming back? And Chris makes the statement, well, what if he walks out of the woods? We'll all be glad when he walks out of the woods. I'm like, who says that? I hope he does walk out of the woods. He says the most bizarrest stuff, and they want, I really do. I think it all stemmed, I won't keep on because I know you got other callers, but I just wanted to put that thought process out there because Chris is the one with the motive. It wasn't Seth. It wasn't Katie. They didn't want to get rid of him. They love him. It may not be in the mother as far as Katie goes because of the things that happened to her and blah, blah, blah.
Right, but she wasn't having it. Like, she wasn't willing to just give him up to Seth. That says a lot to me.
Yeah, they got problems. They all got problems. And then over here, but I'll never, and then when Chris said, when Chris said to Seth, he said, you run your mouth and I'll shut it, for good. I'm like, well, that's a death threat. And so it's his way of putting Seth back in place. You better not say anything about the little plan. Now, this is all allegedly,
in your opinion.
Whatever. But I'm just saying, when I look at it, it's like he's the one that he's control. He's obviously got to control Katie because, he doesn't want her to slip up. And, he controls Seth to the degree that he does. And he puts Seth in his place and he threatens Seth. Why would a stepfather do that? If he didn't have and the thing about the in the beginning, lying to everybody about taking a polygraph when he didn't. He didn't. Why would you lie about that? Whether he's taken one now or not, he's just been, I don't know. And I'm sorry to say this because I hate to put anything out because I know that thousands of people are probably listening or will listen or whatever. But, when I see what the family did to Nina as a group, I'm concerned for what they may have done to Seth and Katie. Just to say, well, it'll just be for a little bit. Here's the other thing I want to bring up, and then I'll get off here. I got to thinking about why isn't there any reward? Why did Katie and Chris and Seth make an agreement not to do like a GoFundMe or, why would they do that? And I've thought about that a lot. And then Seth's sister went ahead and did it for Seth. So I'm just saying this, God, I'm just saying this. This thought come to my mind. Well, what if they just thought the plan out? Like, oh, he does come out of the woods, or somehow he just showed back up, and they had taken money. That could cause them to be, just somehow that it came out. Oh, well, it was just a little plan, and we scored. So to keep them from not getting any more charges, don't do a GoFundMe. Don't set up any money or take any money, under false pretenses. So they just didn't do it because this makes no sense. I understand what Seth said about the lawyer, but I'm like, man, I've heard too many people say, just go down to the bank. So I thought about so it kind of goes into that theory that, yeah, maybe there was a manipulative plan in the beginning. Yeah, we're not going to do a GoFundMe, God forbid if we get in trouble, but we certainly don't want to go to jail over taking money that's, that we took under false pretenses.
That just brings a whole nother element into what's going on here. We don't want to bring money into this. That's what I was thinking too. Like, what are you doing? We agreed not to raise any kind of money. because that
Yeah.
can bring up red flags, especially when they're saying that law enforcement said not to do it, and then Seth goes and does it.
Well, and here again, I have heard that it is said that they don't want a lot of times they won't do a reward because of the fact that it's going to get a lot of false leads in the beginning type thing. But I think they said the max that I've seen so far was they had like 300 tips that came in, which is very low. They even said the other day that it's kind of like dwindled down. So that's one reason why law enforcement may have said, "Hey, let's not do let's not do that." But again, even if you got, when I thought about it, it wasn't Seth that did the money; it was his sister. So if anything, let's say the plan went sideways,
and the Cash App wasn't his either.
Yeah, he can't get in trouble for that, and he was trying to go through a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? It's all like they're in let's distance, but I don't know. I think Seth is looking for his son legitimately. Yeah. I do think that because he can't find him. And now he's thinking, what did they do to him? Did they do something to him? Did they because they're looking for, and I hate to say this, but they're looking for a body. And I'm just going to put this out here because this is something I think, I love Jules. I'm all for the K9 lady, and maybe she can talk about this later on her live. But a lot of you all maybe don't know this, but I saw this out on X. There was a lady that Jules had a conversation with, and what is that woman's name? Anyway, she was interviewing her, and she made the statement that the dumpster at the landfill got a hit. Now, Jules was going to talk to everybody about that. I don't know whether it was a false hit or they call, when they say a false hit, that means it just stopped or whatever. So she made that statement in that interview. What is that woman's name? Anyway, she made the statement, and that's where I think that's why they went to the landfill where the dumpsters went and not to the landfill where the garbage went, if that makes any sense. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have that woman's name because I've tried to get other creators to look at it to play her the interview, because the interview with Jules was good. It was a good interview. She it's like who she is. She lets you. I'm just trying to see if I can find.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who Jules is.
I know you don't. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go. All right, Lauren Collin, Lauren.
Lauren Conlon. Mm-hmm.
Conlon, yes.
She was
back. Go ahead.
She was actually on Nancy Grace on a panel.
Yes, she does Nancy Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she did an interview with Jules, and it was probably about three weeks or so ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she talked about she was talking about the hits and the footprints, and I heard her say that there was a dumpster that got a hit at the construction site. So that's why I believe they went to the landfill. Not that she was confirming it. Please, everybody, listen to me. She did not say definitely sure that was hit. That's why they went to landfill. I'm saying my opinion was that there was a hit, and they went to the landfill. And it was a very small search for whatever reasons, because I guess they were just able to go through it very quickly, and he wasn't there, nothing was there, and they just come on back out of it. But I think that's why that landfill was searched and not the one from the garbage from the home.
Interesting.
I really appreciate you allowing me to talk.
Absolutely. Anytime.
I want him found.
Sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, and if anybody has done anything to them, I don't care how long it takes, because like the Daybell, these things are so weird. But a child just does not walk out of a home with no shoes on in February. And There's 2,000 miles. You've got the best of the best. You've got people coming in from drones, everybody.
Right.
What more
A
could they?
5-mile
It was.
radius.
I mean, what? A piece of clothing, a scent, blood. His feet would. All of that. No, this is something more, and I just.
Well, I appreciate your
It's
thoughts.
yeah, I
Let's see
appreciate it.
where
I'm
we are
emotional
next week.
about it because
Let's see where we are
yeah,
next Wednesday, right? I appreciate you. Have a
thank
good
you.
night. Enjoy the rest of your
You as
evening.
well. Thank
All
you.
right,
Bye.
bye-bye. Thank you so much, caller. Such good points. Such good points. I want to give. I've got unknown. I missed unknown 3 times, so I'm going to open up the lines. Unknown, if you want to call, that line is open for you. 727-755-6001. You guys have had some amazing theories and thoughts, and it's nice getting back down to earth with this case. Six 612.
Call from.
Sylvia.
Call from.
Vic,
Hello, you are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
this is Vic Mackey.
Hello, Vic. What's on your mind?
Well, here's the thing. Chris Proudfoot, or as I like to say, crystal clear candy ass, has made the remark, if you want to find Sebastian, why don't you go check church, Steph?
Uh-huh.
Now, my main theory is, okay, if he's going to blatantly say something as ridiculous as that, it begs the question, has anybody in the family recently died? And if so, could something have happened to him and they recently disturbed that grave?
Say that again? All right, you have a lot of background noise. I don't know where you are, but it's really loud.
Yeah, hang on just one quick second.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, my theory is, has somebody in the family recently died, or somebody they know recently died? Because, a lot of churches have cemeteries. And if somebody has recently died, and if poor Sebastian is now deceased, could it be possible that they have put him in a recently dug up grave?
Where would that be, though? I mean, do you know that one of their people have...
See, that's where you need to look in, is like, well, okay, relatives, who's passed away? That's where you need to search. Also, another thing that's kind of sticks out, too, is the email that got leaked, do not bring the dogs onto my property or family property. Why would you not want the dogs on the property if you're supposedly wanting to find your stepson?
Right. Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. I think there's a lot more to it than people are putting together. But it's strange in itself as well. They were going to give Sebastian in basically a few days. Another theory on that is, okay, maybe they don't want to give up the money that they're getting, if they are.
Right.
Because you can draw a check for an autistic child. And, with these crazy purchases, like a brand new motorcycle, makes you want to look in on it.
Interesting.
Plus, the house is supposed to go up for sale sometime this month.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. People were saying June 1st, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's been confirmed it's sometime this month, and Chris's mother is the one that's selling it.
How do you know that though? How has it been confirmed?
I know a couple of people in Hendersonville.
Are you local?
Am I local?
Yeah, like do you live there?
I live in Tennessee, yes, ma'am.
You do. Do you know
Yes,
anybody
ma'am.
involved in this? Like even like distantly?
I don't, but they do.
What do you mean?
That's, and I've gave a couple of tips to TBI,
You have?
and I hope somebody's looking into. Yes, ma'am.
Where did you get tips from? Do you feel comfortable sharing? Or what they were or how you came
Well, there's
across them?
two people. Well, two people I've known since about, you could say 2003. So that, give or take, that's like 21 years. And another one I met a little later on, but they are really good acquaintances with Mrs. Proudfoot.
Hmm. And are they just not
And
good people? Like do they have sketchy pasts or like what makes you suspect?
they have some strange, they have some strange behaviors. And, one is kind of mentioned that Katie is an alcoholic. Uh, Speculation, not my words.
Right.
But, there's times, she has been known to throw back several drinks.
But what does that have to
And
do
of
with
course,
him disappearing though?
I don't know, unless maybe because you can buy alcohol at Texas Roadhouse, correct?
Sure.
I don't know. I've never been in a Texas
Sure
Roadhouse.
you can. Yeah, they have drinks.
So, I mean, it's highly possible that, took one too many.
But what would that have to
But
do
I've
with
also heard, too, that there was supposed to be a teacher she was meeting at Texas Roadhouse.
a teacher?
But I can't remember where I heard that from, but it was on somebody's video.
I've never heard that. Very
Yeah.
strange.
Uh,
So, I mean, what would
yeah,
her
and
having
that kind
drinks
of,
at the Roadhouse have to do with anything happening later?
the only thing I could kind of think on that would be possibly, one too many drinks. Maybe gave him too much medication since he was on medication.
Just made a mistake?
And then, coming to sobriety, seeing an unalive person, it might trigger some things.
Yeah. Yeah. Trigger things like what?
But I don't know. What is crazy things, but I believe a lot of that evidence is in those walls in that house.
You think there's a lot of evidence in the walls?
Or carpet, hardwood floor, the garage, a mattress.
Do you know, I mean, did they ever remove anything from the home? Did we ever hear that anything was removed?
I have heard that the mattress has been removed. I don't know if that has been recovered because that's something that I did pass along to TBI.
Would you mind sharing like what your tips were? Was it just like a couple names, like check into X, A and B?
Well, one of them, he's a pretty reliable guy. We call him Big Charlie.
Big Charlie?
Yeah, Big Charlie.
Who's Big Charlie? I'm confused.
He lives in the neighborhood.
Big Charlie?
He actually lives, I think it's 2 streets down from their address.
Is he on Honeysuckle?
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't sound sure. That didn't sound too sure.
Well,
sounded like
I
a
don't know if
guess.
he's even watching this stuff because he.
Well, I don't
I
know
know
if
he's
you.
kind
Well,
of
why'd you
kept
say
up
his
with some
name
of this
then?
too. So
But why'd you say Big Charlie if you were worried about that?
only certain people know who Big Charlie is.
Well, what's Big Charlie's background?
Ex-military.
Big Charlie's ex-military?
Yeah, former Marine.
Is he retired now or cop?
2 years from it.
He's 2 years. What do you mean? Uh-oh. He hung up. Who was that? Y'all, why are you laughing? I don't know who that was. Call back. He masked his number. The phone line's open 727 755 6001. I'm going to have to go back and replay that, you guys, because I forget what's said in the moment. The man on Honeysuckle said he had seen the boy wandering through the neighborhood in the past, but not as of late. I remember that, Cannon. Yeah, it was very cryptic, but he said he called in a couple people's names. Big Charlie. Big Charlie the Marine. You think he got scared? Pine Needle's taking notes. I hope y'all have been taking notes. Grave house for sale. Search Bowersox properties. Texas Roadhouse drinks and neighbor. Big Charlie on Honeysuckle. He kind of Kitty World, he kind of said that did TikTok Tony send him? Here, this is for TikTok Tony. I don't know. What was all that background noise? I don't know who it was, y'all. Michael, I don't know. Did TikTok Tony strike again? Yeah, don't be scared. I mean, he didn't say anything bad. I was just wondering, like, why he said Big Charlie, and I was like, what? I know Big Charlie and Uncle Taco. What the heck? You think it sounded like a bar? It sounded like basketball or something.
Bing bang.
It sounded like he was working machines like cranes. Lala says it sounded sus. Canadian Nana. Now we have a whole new thing. Who's Big Charlie? It sounded like a vacuum. It sounded like I heard kids kind of screaming, but then I heard like squeaking of like shoes. It sounded like a gym floor or something. Olive. Wasn't that Big D though? Wasn't wait, isn't Kathy Bowersock's brother Big D? Aw, thanks, LG. I want to go back in the chat here. He wasn't very crystal clear. No. That was definitely odd. Angel Baby says, great channel, Jay. You're so calm. It's a rare. LOL. Gorgeous Doggy is calm too. Thank you. And then Sirius Black has been a member for 4 months, almost 5 months with this amazing bunch. We are so glad to have you, Sirius Black. You are definitely an asset to our community. Island Thrift says, what do we think CP meant by, quote, this case will be studied for years? That it would be, something never solved, studied for years. I don't know. I've always thought that was a wed too. You guys all want Big Charlie? Yeah, that was odd, right? It was Big D, wasn't it, for Bower Sox's brother, Daryl, or my brother. This is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl.
Shall we play a game?
Miss Vu, would that be the big white truck guy cop? I don't know. I can't with Uncle Taco. I don't even. I can't even. 727-755-6001. These phone lines are still open for your calls tonight.
Wake up.
Cannon says the house is not on Zillow yet. Big D and Little D. Little D and little Chrissy D. Give me a call. Tell me your theory. 727-755-6001. If I missed your call earlier and you're still listening, the phone lines are open. Firma, I don't know. Crime says, if there's really a Big Charlie and Uncle Taco, what have we gotten into? I don't know. Uncle Charlie's in Big Taco. We actually had a place called Charlie Brown's that served awesome tacos. All right.
Wake up.
Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
From
Jamie.
Hello, you are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
This is Tammy from Indiana.
Well, hello, Miss Tammy from Indiana. How are you tonight?
I'm nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Just like talking on the phone, an old friend.
Okay.
So what's on your mind? Do you
Okay.
have a theory on this?
Well, I thought this was on Nancy Grace. They didn't want to talk about the white work ban.
About the
And
what?
then I
I'm sorry, I
think
didn't
I
hear
don't
you.
the white work ban or white
Oh,
ban.
yes. They didn't have
They
permission.
didn't want to. Yes. And then I thought, well, that's kind of funny. Then I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about another creator mention
Yeah, go ahead.
on Shay's Safe Place
Mm-hmm.
a couple days ago. She had a really good video, and it does make sense. And on I'm trying to think. I'm so nervous.
No, it's okay.
The dispatch call that was everybody's listening to. She heard on the boy that had something wrapped around his head.
Yeah. The bag on his head.
She heard white van mentioned in the dispatch call, and it does make it. And it was like 2 hours before Katie had called, or Chris had called, and it was like 4:20, 4:30, and another officer spoke up and said that he was on that call. Well, he said it was a 20-year-old, but they did release younger pictures of Sebastian, so. But
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and replay that dispatch because I do remember a van. It didn't click to me that it said white van.
if you watch Shay's Safe Place, she has
No,
it
I'm
on
gonna
there.
have to go check that out. So Shay's Safe
It
Place. I like her.
all that makes so much sense. I mean, what in the same neighborhood, a white van with someone. Everybody thinks, or a lot of people said they thought it said a bag, but she heard rag wrapped around.
Oh yeah,
the
I thought it said
guy.
bag too.
But it was a really good video, and this has been bothering me for 2 days since I seen her video, and I'm like, that's got to be it.
Interesting. Thank you so much for letting me know about that.
Yeah, I'm so nervous.
No, don't be nervous. You've done great. Thank you so much. That's very interesting. So
All
I'm going to
right.
check into that. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great night and the rest of your week.
I love your channel too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you more for stepping out of your comfort zone and calling in.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right. She did a great job, did she not? No need to be nervous calling in ever. It's just like talking to an old friend. So what I'm going to do right meow is I am going to play this dispatch audio, okay?
Heck. Right over here to the retaining pond.
All right, hold on. This is my video. I usually use Jessica Danielle's, but I can't find it right now. So I'm just going to play this one that I have of mine. Hold on. Let me get it pulled up here. So let's see if they do say white van. I did not pick that up, but let's see. So we're going to pause this phone line thing for a minute here. Okay. This is the dispatch audio from that morning.
Do we have an estimated time of start for the search process?
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male was not in the bed. Medium white male, 30 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
See that part? Be in the home before midnight. I have the captions on. What exactly did she say? Going to be in the home before midnight. Let's listen. This is the first time it happened, and then listen closely.
This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
10-4 in our house.
37. I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a phone. Break. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire Call.
It is.
Central to 47180 and 12. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
I'm in the area. Check long haul out. Just same way. You can take me off the assist fire. I'll be en route to the missing juvenile. Next pick track back up. Going into the construction site over here. Next pick track back up. Going into the construction site over here back towards the beach. I'm behind you. Hey, awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Hey, this is all dry, hard packed. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprint? The shoes that Max went straight into the pond. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water. There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt headed straight this way on the track that he was running. 1247, what kind of shoe does he wear? Size 10. So to any units they're going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court.
Yeah, can you just, I don't know if the parents will know, but just on out if he owns a white purple hoodie with Homer Simpson on it.
10-4. Anybody that's at the residence, can they ask the parents?
Mom doesn't advise that she can recall one.
10-6.
He said something about a purple hoodie. And I can't make out what he says. And then mom says she doesn't advise that she remembers one.
12 Central.
12, go ahead.
Can we make sure that this has been rolled out to Hendersonville and Gallatin? Also,
this is definitely edited.
They were at Striking Square last night, just bowling at some game. Can you have a unit go there and just go around and make sure that he hasn't returned there? Make sure he didn't want to continue his day.
Make sure he didn't want to continue his game. They were at Strike and Spare last night. Can you make sure he didn't return there and finish his game?
47 to command.
47.
1011 and 1015 have ring cameras, but didn't pick up anything.
517 Hendersonville is with me. 1006, no contact. 1008, made contact. Haven't seen anything. 1010, contact. They hadn't seen anything. There's nothing on ring doorbell.
47 to command.
47.
1023 and 1024 both have ring cameras, so no one's home.
10-4. Command the units on Stafford. I'm going to the command post of Sadie Satan. I'll be out of pocket for just a few seconds. Command the units on Stafford. I'm going to the command post of Sadie Satan. I'll be out of pocket for just a few seconds.
1012 Killing Lane through 1020. All checked. 1012 let me go through the entire house.
All right.
The lady at 10 runs the neighborhood Facebook page, and she's updating it to request people to look in their crawl spaces and hidden areas.
10-4.
68 line. Go ahead. Hey, on at 1017 Killing Lane, did y'all happen to check the crawl space? I will have to check my list, but if it wasn't locked from the outside, it was checked.
1018 Stafford. They are reviewing their camera footage right now.
10-4. Are you guys giving them numbers to call if they find anything?
Several. Check the cameras.
184, your low volume. They got cameras checked.
People 1018, they check the cameras. No contact.
10-4.
26.
Oh, I just want to clarify. Yes, this is definitely edited. So somebody grabbed this from the Broadcastify archives, and then they cut out the dead space. So it's not like real time. You know what I mean? Nicole, why didn't he finish his game? That is suspicious to me. Right. Was he ripped away from a game in the middle of it? Did he not want to leave Strike and Spare? Why would he go back there?
I want to walk the road to the cemetery. There's to the west is Beach Hospital. I want to walk the road to the cemetery. There's to the west is Beach Hospital.
10-4.
And I'll be out at St. John Missionary, 85. Check line. On foot.
Hendersonville 517 to command.
517, go ahead.
Your assignment, all units. 12 all units. When you're done with your assignment, please come back to 1008 Stafford.
Thank you so much, Robin.
68 command. Contact, nothing on their cameras, and nothing in the treehouse behind the house. 10-4. On the house. Taylor Lane has been checked. 10-4, correct. All houses on Taylor Lane have been checked. Devonport has been checked as well. 10-4, Devonport.
Devonport. Okay, so I do need to find Jessica Danielle because mine ends there. So hold on. You guys were right. It is later. She did a great job with the times, too. So let's do this. Let's start.
Be sure and search under call. I'm in my truck.
This is weird. This is when they see the person in the woods.
Yeah, the north end of it, yeah. Now over here, go straight back. There's a person in the woods by that pond. There's the house on the other side of the tree line. Going back toward beach or going on the back side. Yeah, on the back side, and he's not moving. He's just standing there by himself in the woods. It's Hendersonville 517. I'm on the northeast corner in the cemetery across the tree line. Am I close? No, the backside. Nikki, if you can, do you have anybody there with you? Stand by. Let me see if I can find it on my map. I got my drone grounded for the moment, and I'll see if I can do it. Target's over. 1 to 2. I'm in my truck. 2, there's 4 of us on foot coming across the yard. Start directions. 19's on the screen.
So this is only at 8:15 at this point. Okay, this is only at 8:15 a.m.
Straight in. Keep it on. Go left. Just come back, you passed it. There's one piece, there's one block with you going into the woods, You should be about 15 foot from it. What's the child's first name? Should be all over it, whatever it is right there. The 2 people walking the woods. It's a mannequin. Sorry, guys. Look just like a person from the air. Here's another 66. What's the name of the child that we're looking for? First name is Sebastian. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? First name is Sebastian. Last clothing description was black sweatpants with a white stripe, black long sleeve t-shirt with a print. 188.
No, it's not open right now because we're
Go
playing.
ahead, sir. Can you come to 1008, please? 12 to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Davenport now, please. Start at the beginning of Kelly Lane 1000. We're going to work our way north of Kelly Lane. That's fine. I'll get these 2 houses right here, and we'll take the right side. The white Ford truck, that's the Hendersonville officer's house that's with me. No, that house hasn't been checked. The next house up from it, you'll see the white Ford in the driveway. Where you are, okay, neighborhood Facebook page, post was made, 1023 check, no motion on camera.
Yeah, I've heard. We've had an additional caller call in that was in the van stating she called someone that made the description on code.
Okay, it just says van. It doesn't say anything about white. Listen. The words are right here on the screen. Additional caller called in. Listen.
Post was made, 1023 check, no motion on camera.
Yeah, I've heard. We've had an additional caller call in that was in the van stating she called someone that made the description on Hogan's Branch. Male with sandy blonde hair with a bag wrapped around his head. Shouts stated he had on a reflective jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
30 command. 139 World End has a camera, but
So they did not say white van. They just said a van. But that was at 9:30. So they said they saw this person at 7:30 in the morning. So they called it in at 9:30. Said they saw someone at 7:30.
all right. That's fine. I'll get these 2 houses right here,
and we'll take the right side. The white Ford truck, that's the Hendersonville officer's house that's with me. No, that house hasn't been checked. The next house up from it, you'll see the white Ford in the driveway.
Where you are, okay, neighborhood Facebook page, post was made, 1023, check, no motion on camera.
Now heard an additional caller call in that was in the head stating she saw someone that made the description on Hogan's Branch, male with sandy blonde hair, with a bag wrapped around his head. She also stated she had on a reflective jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
30 command. 139 World End has a camera, but nobody's answering the door. He had some ties at White House High School, and every time he got in trouble, he wanted to go back to White House, so I notified White House PD, or notified this SRO.
10-4. 10-4, with the camera is correct.
It's 10-4, nobody.
Okay, so my theory on that is that was called in, that was a fake tip that was called in, because if you go back and you look, it's a 9-minute drive where he was seen. If he was gone, okay, she said she woke up. I heard bag too. And they didn't say white van. So that's why you got to double check stuff. 9-minute drive. If they saw him at 7:30, how long would it take for him to walk from their house? 9-minute drive. How many hours of walking would that be? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like it was a fake tip to maybe put them on the trail that Sebastian might be around this area versus not be around the area. You know what I mean? Thank you, Lisa Rose. Lisa Rose just generously donated $1.99 to J4J411.live towards a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Coming in hot, just like the fajita.
How did they know what color the hair was if there was a bag over his head? That's why I think it was a fake tip. They made it look like it was Sebastian. I think they wanted to put him on this trail so they would be searching from that point forward. That's really what I think.
Now heard an additional caller call in that was in the head.
Okay, hold on. Let me slow it down just a touch, and we'll listen to it again.
Where you are, okay, neighborhood Facebook page, post was made, 1023, check, no motion on camera.
Now heard an additional caller call in that was in the head stating she saw someone that made the description on Hogan's Branch, male with sandy blonde hair, with a bag wrapped around his head. She also stated she had on a reflective jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
30 command.
Where'd they get the description of Sebastian at 7:30 in the morning? Like, how would they know? You know what I'm saying? Where'd they get the description? How'd they know sandy blonde hair with a bag? It doesn't make sense, does it? All right, I'm going to go. I've got to run my dogs out. I'm going to play this dispatch. When I get back, we will open up and take some more calls. So bear with me. We're going to listen to a little bit of this. I'm going to take the doggos out because they're barking at me. So I'll be right back, guys.
139 World End has a camera, but nobody's answering the door. He had some ties at White House High School, and every time he got in trouble, he wanted to go back to White House, so I notified White House PD, or notified this SRO.
10-4. 10-4, with the camera is correct.
It's 10-4, nobody's answering, nobody's home. In reference to that address, please run a registration check on Tennessee tag. Tennessee.
J 2012 BMW, 750 black and color, registered at that address. Confirmed NSR.
Directly, you can't see it. You can find any information. See if we can look up on a phone number or something. We would appreciate it.
Command unit center at staff report. When you check a residence, please give me the numeric and unit numbers that have checked it and whether or not you made contact with anybody.
Made contact with 1000 Kellen Lane. He checked all of his cameras. Nothing was on. No answer at 102 or 103 Kellen Lane. 105 answered, hasn't seen it. Nothing on the ring doorbell.
10-4, and you're saying 102, is it 1002 or 102?
1002, I'm sorry.
10-4. Did you ask if he had a light purple hoodie?
I don't have to answer no, but just find out if he owns a light purple hoodie with him or something like that.
Can I ask?
Mom doesn't advise us to call me. Yeah. They were at Dragon Square last night, just bowling. Do you have a unit go there? Make sure that he hasn't returned there. 1015 have ring cameras, but didn't pick up anything.
517 Hendersonville is with me. 1000 contact, haven't seen anything either, nothing on the ring doorbell. 1012 Kellen Lane through 20. All 1012 go through the entire. The lady at 1032 Kellen runs the neighborhood Facebook page, and she's updating it to request people to look in their crawl spaces and hidden areas. Hey, on at 1000 Kellen Lane, did y'all happen to check the crawl space? I will have to check my list, but if it wasn't locked from the outside, it was checked.
1018 Stafford. They are reviewing their camera footage right now.
I need some check contact when they cameras checked. No, that's fine.
184, you're low volume. They got cameras checked.
It will 1018.
And I'll be out at St. John Missionary, 1085.
Resident at 1028 Kellen Lane states that he just saw a kid with a black shirt, black shorts, had a phone in his hand coming across the construction. When he made contact with this gentleman, the subject went straight back to the woods at the top of Kellen Lane.
I just talked to him. He's one helping.
Thank you.
12 units, when you're done with your assignment, please come back to 1008 Stafford. 1023, 24, 18, and 16 Stafford. Ring cameras, nothing's been called. Operations have started at Willow Bend Drive, St. John Baptist is clear all the way along. And the dumpsters and both church buses have been cleared also. They're making that.
10-4, are you going back to
I
Stafford?
think they redacted those parts.
Still on search, but general area.
1026 Kellen Lane, no contact. 1028 made contact, nothing on their cameras. And 1030 contact, nothing on their cameras, and nothing in the treehouse behind the house.
10-4.
66, man. All houses on Kellen Lane have been checked. Brad, those woods on that side of Long Hollow, we've been unable to fly to due to the distance with the drones. So those big woods that's south of the house, we haven't been able to get off. All the properties on Vandy Wood Court have been checked. We're starting on Honeysuckle now. Yeah, that's 3293 Long Hollow Pike. Beyond the creek and checking that cave behind the house.
All right, you guys. 727-755-6001 if you're wanting to call in.
I'm almost
that's
back to the house. Meet my partner.
I crawled back into the cave as far as I could go before it got muddy. No footprints, and it's collapsed on in about 10 feet.
10-4, but you're out of it, correct?
Sounds like.
Trooper Grinder has himself and a few troopers. They're going to hit the road outside of our immediate vicinity and just look for him walking down the roadway somewhere.
3301 Long Hollow Pike has been cleared. Stone House, several outbuildings have been cleared. They're unlocked if anyone else wants to.
727-221.
I just sent you the dangerous poster. If you can put that on our social media, please.
Sorry.
12 to 188.
755-6001.
Please.
Did y'all check inside each one of those buses behind TW Hunter?
10-4, so we checked them all.
Yeah, well, what about the three closest to the building? Will you ask Transville to respond to the area of National Pike and Carrying Road? There's a juvenile in that area wearing black pants and a red t-shirt. I'm shaking back and forth like he had autism. It was just reported to us. Outside of Long Hollow from Killen Lane to Center Point.
Shaking back and forth like he had autism?
From?
You are live on air. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Casper. How you doing, Jay?
Hey, you. Yeah, I want to hear your theory.
Okay. I have not heard or seen anything mentioned about my theory. And it goes along with the emotions of Katie, pretty much. I have a hard time with connecting her with any harm with Sebastian. She does cry. She's in numb mode. I don't think Chris wanted him. He was too much trouble. I think Seth only wanted him for money purposes or whatever. And a mother's love, you will pretty much do anything to save your child. And anybody that's in true crime will know that there are agencies and people underground that will hide a child. I know this for a fact.
But what would be the point of hiding him?
Because he wasn't safe. He wasn't safe with her because of Chris. Chris didn't want him around. And Seth, he's just gone all wild, buck wild. I don't even know what's going on with him anymore. But I think to keep him safe. I don't think that she knew he was safe. And all of the stuff that she went through as a child, a lot of it we probably don't even know. And I think she would do something drastic like that just to keep him safe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I just think it's unlikely just because of how it coincides with the custody case out in New Mexico. I feel like that plays a part in this because this all.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? Like
I really do. I get that.
I just feel like there's.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's just a little. It's too sinister.
That's just been weighing on my mind a lot because I've seen cases where this has happened, and it's been years later that they found them as adults.
But even if that was the case, like if she
theory.
cared enough to stow him away somewhere, and no, I mean I appreciate your theory. I'm just saying, like, but if she cared enough to stow him away,
Why didn't she go with him?
Well, not only that, but like, don't you think that her front would be of that of a caring mother, and not of someone who's
Okay, well, let's say she did go with him. Do you not think that those two guys would go harder trying to find her than Sebastian?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know. That has just been on my mind and my heart, and I just feel it. I feel something's there, and that could go along with our good friend Julia, as to maybe why she's moved from Middle Tennessee to West Tennessee. She may be looking into the same theory, and we don't know about it, But there are underground agencies that will hide children and parents, or a mother if she is with them.
No, I do believe that does happen. I do believe that does happen. But I feel like the timing is off for that. Like if there wasn't other stuff going on, I mean, she's been allowing God knows what going on in front of this kid for God knows how long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, why
now?
now?
I get what you're saying.
It's just so confusing. It's baffling. It really is.
The why now, I think, is because she didn't want him to go live with Seth, and it was that time. And I don't think she had a choice because Chris, I don't think he was going to let him stay. I think, honestly, Chris and Seth probably behind the scenes had something going on, you know, conversations with, okay, I'll talk her into you, you know, letting her go live with you.
Yeah, I don't like how those two guys were talking and
Me
trying
either.
to pull one, you know, over on her like I'm working on her type thing. I don't like that. That to me is a
Well,
breach of trust between
yeah,
Katie and Chris.
and me and my best friend, we were sus on Seth from jump. There was just something there, and then boom, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just a lot of not right in this whole situation.
Mhm. Well, it was just a theory, and I wanted to call it in.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you for calling.
All right, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye. Really getting us thinking today about all of this stuff.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. I ain't finished. I ain't finished my sentence.
A big bag wrapped around his neck. I didn't hear that either. Well, the lines are open again. 727-755-6001 if you would like to call in.
Vegetarian. We're still here so far. It's clear. You know, on 182, we've not made ourselves around to the front of the schools, to the side of the school yet. We're still in the back.
Very well, we get a long haul flight.
3 is.
Go ahead, 3.
The bus and the shed have been checked at 3220.
Thank you. You and your partner stop at Willow Bend and go house to house, Willow Bend. Check all those, please. See what people have driven through. If it doesn't look like anybody went house to house. Yeah, well, every house on Honeysuckle has been checked. People that answered the door have only seen the Parishman this morning, nothing else.
The White House and Red Barn adjacent to TW owner 2105 New Hope is clear.
3417 THP
We're
has
almost to
joined in
noon.
with myself and 517 on Willow Bend to check houses.
We're almost to noon right now.
The big holding pond has been cleared by Hendersonville Fire. They're going to rehab at Shackle Island for a bit, then go to the one over by the cemetery. Field houses behind the beach, soccer field's been searched. We're going to head over to the side field house across the street from the fire hall.
727.
106, 108, 110,
Here, let me get the number.
112, Willowbrook, all check, no contact with any homeowners. And none of these houses have crawl spaces.
Beach football complex.
Were y'all still searching that area?
Yes, sir.
Made contact with a realtor at 114. Hasn't seen him, and all the rooms have been cleared. 116 made contact with that homeowner. He said he has seen that child walking in the neighborhood in past times, but not recent.
The main field house next to the freshman annex has been completely searched. All clear. It's got beach softball, beach football. It's the one next to the Beachcomber Church between it and the freshman annex. It's the main football complex.
Me and Marshall's back here in the back of the cemetery back here.
Cemetery again?
No contact with anyone, and his truck is not here either. So I think the lady's here trying to get in her driveway in your cars, and is the key there by chance?
It is, but it's locked.
Okay. Yeah, she's trying to get in her driveway.
Go ahead.
We haven't had a process.
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you. You may do this, man. We just put another can on the ground at the house. See if we picks up anything.
We are breaking off fuel gallons for fuel.
Refuel.
The creek from Worshams to New Shackle Long Hollow and the bridge there have all been checked.
What's your location?
I'm looking by 109 in Thornton's right now.
I just got a phone call. Kid matching that description, hiding under the bridge. Lower station camp behind the market. I'll be en route. I'm close. If we get somebody else on the other side of the nursery to come down, she stated that he could be on that side. 446. What was the last thing that? Just under the bridge. She stated that when she went down to turn around, he was gone. 446. Did you talk to the client? She's still on the bridge.
This is the blonde in leggings.
White female, black leggings, I believe. Blonde hair. 447, 446. You seen any tracks that way? I'm taking Creek Clover. See any track? 446 to 447. Hold your location, please. I'm on foot now.
10-4. I know they've got the dog up there.
The helicopter's coming back to you. 158 Upper Station.
The residents say the ETA, approximately 5 minutes ago, somebody walked through that gate right below you.
There's somebody in black. Yeah.
There's a deputy at 158. I saw somebody in black on the tree line. I don't know if it's one of our guys.
Yeah, there's two law enforcement guys walking back here along the tree line. Let's go through there.
12 to 24. How long have they lived in that house?
A year.
Where were we at before?
Cambridge Farms.
What do you mean, Enid?
449 Remington in Cambridge Farms.
White male, gray t-shirt, white pants. They didn't get to see his face, kind of shaggy blonde hair.
We'll be out at Lower Station, Scarlet, and Big Station with a white male juvenile with four-wheeler in the creek.
Who checked out with the juvenile on Station Gal?
This is not going to be our missing juvenile. He's with his father in the creek.
I made contact with the male, the caller, and him and the trail called about. It's not our subject.
I'm confused. Ned, I'm confused by your comment. Wait, that lady with the dog looks like the lady on the infamous tape. What tape? What lady with the dog? The one shown in here? What tape are you talking about? Well, let's not start doxing everybody on Honeysuckle. We don't want to do that. You mean in what tape are you talking about? I'm so confused. Kendi, where is this tape? Yeah, what tape? Oh, we got a caller.
From Shayna.
Hello, you are live on the air with Jay. What is on your mind?
Hey Jay, this is Shayna. I'm calling you from Michigan.
Hello, Shayna in Michigan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I've been following this case since it started, and in the beginning, I always was like every day, like they're gonna find Sebastian today. They're gonna find Sebastian today. Never happened. And I don't know. I didn't listen to your show in the beginning because I just got on like maybe within the hour. So I don't know if anybody said my theory. If they have, you can tell me and we can stop it or whatever. But
oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Well, when I look so Chris, he works like 2.5 hours away. It's not that far from where they lived. I just Googled it because I didn't know the distance. It's literally not that far to drive back and forth. So I feel like when they think of like people's like alibis of where they are, we know with like Madeline Soto, you know, wiping his phone, that didn't work out for him. With what's his name? The guy that killed the Idaho kids, you know,
Brian.
he tried to Brian Koberger, he did the airplane mode
that didn't work for him. So I was thinking, like, well, what if, they're involved, like, and Chris Profit is involved in this? Could he have left his phone at work, making it seem like he's there, gone back? It takes him 2.5 hours to get back, do whatever he's doing. He can make it back to work and, still be involved somehow. I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if anybody's already said that, but the other thing I think is that if he was in his house, I feel like Sebastian would go with somebody he trusted. So if the doors were locked or whatever, somebody came to his window or whatever, he would go with whoever he trusted, which would be his mom, Seth or Chris or anybody else that's in, with the family.
Right.
I think it's weird that there's no evidence of him anywhere. How can you leave barefoot? There's no evidence. The dogs aren't picking up a scent. So he didn't just walk out of the house. Like,
right.
He was definitely taken out, already gone, or somebody took him. He might have trusted and took him somewhere else. But I do believe that there's definitely they have to be involved in this. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. They don't care. They're not out looking for him. I don't know any mother, like the one caller said that, like, she could have him in hiding. It's like, but wouldn't she by now be like, okay, I'm sorry, here's my son? Like, it's gone too far, you know?
Right. I mean, if she had him somewhere safe, she has every right to do that. So why lie about it? You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna put him somewhere,
especially when it's gone this far. Like,
yeah. I just don't. I don't think that's plausible. I think that because even the kids that are like kidnapped from their beds and taken to these crazy camps, that's still legal. The parents like have the right to do that. So there'd be no reason to like call and fake a missing persons report. You just do your thing.
Right. Unless something happened, like the other caller said, where like, yeah, something could have happened. Maybe he got dosed too much medicine, or something happened where, maybe he accidentally fell down and, she called to get help from Chris. Like, I don't know what to do. And I still think he could have made it back home.
I do too.
Definitely.
I do too.
And then the other thing is too, I feel like I was always rooting for Seth. Like, I do think that he loves his son. I was rooting for him forever, but I do think it's kind of weird how he just jumped right in. He was doing his own thing. I feel like sometimes when somebody might be involved or guilty, they put themselves right in the crime. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying he did anything, but,
I hear
but
you.
again, he's the only one speaking, where the other people,
it's easy to
Katie
pick him
and
apart
Chris,
because he talks so much.
Yeah. He's really put himself out there, and then he's got like an attitude with people sometimes, and firing people and hiring people, and
Everything he's done has
I don't know.
has not had a good look. I think we can safely say that. I just wish that if he truly was at work, that they would clear him publicly, because at this point, he's being accused of a lot of stuff, and I would feel like law enforcement would maybe want to take a little bit of a load off of him. So it's kind of shocking to me if it's that simple that he was at a jail and he was on video and there was no discrepancies in that and he wasn't missing for any point in time, that they'd be able to do that. But I don't know. It would help to narrow things down a little bit.
To clear people. But like, I talked to my sister about it yesterday, because all we do is talk about crime cases, and she was like, they've said, like, I mean, they haven't cleared anybody. Like, nobody's been cleared.
No one.
So,
and they've questioned other family members too, they said.
Yeah. My sister said, like, her thought, she's just like, he's just gone. Like, they must have done something, so maybe they thought it out, or maybe one of them did, not saying they or whoever, but that it was thought out so good that it's just a mystery, unless he was abducted by aliens. That's the only other theory I have, because nothing else makes sense.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I appreciate you. I think everybody's had
Yeah.
some really great thoughts tonight, and it's kind of putting them all together, and who knows?
Yeah.
But it
All
has.
right. Well, thank you so much for taking my call.
Definitely. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Have a good night.
Yep. Bye.
Hey,
You too,
enjoy.
bye.
Hey, enjoy the mitten.
Huh?
Enjoy the mitten.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Detroit, man.
Yes. All right. See ya.
Bye.
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 Love my Michiganders. Give me a call, 727-755-6001. Here we go.
Call from.
You are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Hi, it's Annie Jean.
Hello, Miss Annie. How are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind?
Hey, all right, so I've been following this case since the beginning, and don't worry, I'm not Big Charlie.
Well, that's good. Thank you for clarifying that.
Anyways, there's Big Charlie actually, I'm just going to call him that because he doesn't have a name. So from now on, when I hear that guy, that's Big Charlie because he's been on other creators also. Yes, and I know his voice. So he's a troll, and he just wants to get into people.
Does he always have
Yeah.
machinery in the background and kids and stuff?
He
had a weird
No,
background.
not really. I mean, yeah, I know he did. No, he didn't really have anything with the other creators, but I did notice his voice, and he did mention taco something. I don't know, and he was saying oh, I want to talk about CP. I'm going to eat his taco tonight. I'm like, what the heck is this guy? This guy is so weird. Yeah, so he's saying crazy stuff with other creators. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, and also talk about the case. I truly think that everything from Texas Roadhouse until the morning is fabricated. I really do. I don't believe. I think that Katie and Chris, in my own allegedly opinion, I think that they're trying to basically turn the times around. I mean, how do I say it?
Confuse people?
I'm sorry?
To confuse?
Yes, because, okay, there's been so many distractions. It's just been crazy. I mean, it's the first thing that happened, you just played it with the dispatch and everything, weird mannequin and other things. And then throughout this whole thing, I mean, there's just been so many distractions, and it's they're trying to throw off the case to actually what it actually is. So, with that being said, I think the Bauer Sox really did have a lot to do with it because it's just kind of weird how Cassie was there in the morning. I mean, and what time did she get there?
Right.
Did we even know?
And when
I
did
mean,
Chris call her? How did that go down?
Yeah, exactly. So it's what happened?
He
with
never
that?
said oh, I hung up and then I called my mom and I told my mom to come over and sit with Katie because I didn't want her to be alone.
Right. But if he was on that three-way call,
yeah,
and he said the police were there within minutes, and he was still on the phone with the police, so he had no time to call Cassie at all.
Right.
So it's it doesn't make any
Kathy?
sense. Like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Terry has a lot to do with it too. It's just really, really weird. I really don't think Sebastian made it home that night. I think the whole trash situation, I really don't think that was him on there. I mean, they even said, law enforcement even stated the last proof of life was at Texas Roadhouse. So it's they're just going on from seeing him at Texas Roadhouse until, he's been missing.
Right.
So it's we just do not have any proof of life, except for that day, And then that whole day, I don't even think that happened. She said, oh, we picked up the niece. Like, she's looking at Chris like, is this what I'm supposed to say? You know what I mean? Like, she's kind of like looking at him, like trying to get some kind of vibes. Like, am I doing this right? Like, in my opinion, that's how I see it. So it's just kind of, it's like the story's scripted.
Yeah.
Is what I'm going to say.
Like, she looked at him for, like, reassurance,
scripted.
you know, like.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We picked up our niece.
Yeah, exactly. And who's the niece? I mean, how old is this kid, you know? And it's like, I don't even know if it's a kid. You know, it could be, you know, an adult they picked up. Who knows? So, but yeah, I really think that, that Sebastian never made it home that night. I think, on the way back, I think Katie might have did something to him, you know, might have got mad, might have hit him in the car, something like that, and she just had to call somebody, and somebody picked him up. And whatever happened with that that's why she passed the polygraph. Do you know what happened to your son? No.
Do you remember
you know, where is he?
Do you remember when Chloe, the PI, came out and said that they had also went to a friend's house that day? I can't remember what podcast she was on.
I don't recall.
But she had said that they had also went to a friend's house that day. So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, who's the friend? She didn't say, you know, family member. So I thought that was interesting as well.
What was that? I don't recall it. I have to look for it.
Yeah, I don't remember what interview that was at. But like, also the photos, right, are weird. Because it doesn't look like they gave recent photos either.
Every time somebody is close to finding this poor child, it's like they do not want this child found, because they know that once they find the body, that's right there. That's going to seal the deal.
Then
you know, because that body is the complete evidence. Yes. So it's like every time somebody's getting close, it's like somebody's there to just, you know, push the whole case in another direction. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just completely...
Another distraction comes in. So, in your opinion,
yes,
who do you think, like, what do you think the reason is that Tony's been brought in with Seth then? Because, honestly, he hasn't done Seth any favors. So
yes, and that was another thing I was going to say. I mean, personally, my opinion only, I really think Tony's being paid. I really think that he's working under the table for somebody. I think Tony knows what's going on with this case, but I just don't think that he's in it for the good reason. I think somebody's paying him, you know, to make it into another direction. Like, I think he's just kind of like, I don't know, to throw it off, basically. Because, like, there's all these people. It's like the Bauer Sox seem like they have a lot of money. So it's like, are these people being paid to throw off this investigation? You know what I mean? Like, all these weird things. Like the lady over there at, what was it, North Carolina? Like, with the kid. You know, it's so weird. Like, the person that took a picture of that. You know, like, how would they just take a picture of a kid that looks almost exactly?
One picture.
Yes, one picture, no video.
No video, didn't follow them, didn't stick around to see who they were with, get pictures of the adults he was with. Yeah, it was very weird.
Exactly. And it's like, I almost feel like there's something going on, like, you know, what is that called? I can't remember. Anyways, I really think that, no, not a hoax. I don't think it's a hoax. I do think that Sebastian is, I hate to say this, but I really do think that he is gone, you know, from this earth. I think something happened, I think, with Katie. I think that something happened in the car. I really do. I really think that on the way back, I think something happened in that car, and she just got really irritated with him. I don't know what it could be, but and I think when when she was going through the interview and she said, "Oh, I heard a thud," like I think that was her remembering like her hitting him. You know what I mean? Like and he had hit his head against the the car or something. Like I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he made it home. That's all I say. Like I just don't think he made it home. I think something happened in the car on the way home. And I mean, this is my opinion only, and don't take this as facts. But I just really think that she ended up handing him off to somebody. She stopped the vehicle and called somebody. I don't know if it was Chris or if it was Bauer Sox or somebody, and said, "I can't do this. I don't know what to do," and
was panicking.
Just handed him off, basically. Yeah, like she was panicking, and I don't know. And then I just find it so weird that in that morning with Katie Bauer Sox being there, that is just really strange to me.
It is weird.
Why?
I mean, I get it. Like, if she's the closest relative, like, hey, go sit with my wife. But then there was 4 people plus the mom. So you have Seth. We know he showed up, and then Mama Bauer Sox. There was 2 other people besides the mom, and they weren't Chris.
Right.
So who was there?
Right,
Who were the 2
exactly.
other people?
Yeah, exactly. I have they didn't say.
It's weird, huh?
So, yeah. And law enforcement, in my opinion, the reason why they're not going public with anything is because they're taking everything and they're hiding it into like an investigation envelope, because they want to, if they do have anything, they want to provide that to the jury. You know what I mean? Like if we get all the information and they end up having a case, and, there's the prosecution and the defense attorney and everything, the jury is the public. So any of us could be, called in for jury duty.
Right.
And if we already know the information, we're not going to listen to the prosecutor. We're not going to listen to the defense attorney. We're just going to say, oh, yeah, we already know. Like, we already made up our mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like they want to make sure that anything that they have, they are documenting it. I'm pretty sure they are. So anything that they have, they're going to hold it really close to their chest, because if there ever is a case, they need to present that,
Exactly,
and that's why, like, so many people are like, oh, why isn't Ellie saying anything? Well, Ellie's not saying anything because basically they need to, show all their evidence and all their stuff to a jury if it does come to that,
Right.
So
I mean, they could be.
I just wanted to.
They could have a grand jury right now looking at evidence. Nobody would know.
We don't know. I mean, law enforcement. I know Seth says he's going to take the head off of all the snakes. Well, you know what? The only snakes that there is law enforcement, and they're going to strike. When they strike, they strike. That's it.
Yeah, it's over then.
But yeah, yep, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Seth had anything to do with it. I mean, I know that he's acting all weird and this and that and GoFundMe and all this other garbage, but
it might just be side shit.
I don't
think it might just be side shit.
Yeah. And I mean, he's so inflated right now with his ego because he thinks he's top shit by, oh, I'm famous. You know what I mean? Like, he's so up there that he just completely crumbled. Like, all of his supporters, most of his supporters are not even supporting him anymore because of how he was, with Tony doing all this crazy stuff. Yeah. It's like Tony, I don't watch anything of Tony because Tony is he's fake news. And I can't not with that guy.
TikTok
he's just
Tony.
Too much.
TikTok Tony.
Yes. I don't even have TikTok. I don't even like TikTok.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either. Trust me, I hate it.
No, it's annoying, and it's like, but I don't know. I mean, I just put that out there. You know, he could be getting paid under the table. You don't know. I mean, he's not doing anything for Caleb Harris either. So it's like I don't understand.
Did you see the interview that I replayed where he was on Coffin Daffer's channel? And it was Tony, Randy Harris, and Jennifer Coffin Daffer. And Tony sat there with music playing in the background, his air conditioning blaring.
Yes, I did.
Spitting
Oh my
in a
God.
bottle, looking out the window. He's like, fumbling.
Spitting. Yes, spitting out the window. That was so disgusting.
What was that?
I don't know. It was horrible. That was gross. That was just disgusting. If I was Seth, I would be like, this guy is not representing me. I mean, look at him. I mean, what? This guy's got Seth brainwashed so bad. It's horrible. It's like,
well, I don't like that he
I don't
signed
understand.
he said he signed a legal binding contract with Tony.
With Tony?
He said that he sent the signed engagement letter 3 weeks before anyone even knew who Tony was. So they were working him, got their claws in him behind the scenes, got him to sign on the dotted line. Then it was all over. So who knows what the deets are of that, right?
Right, exactly. That's
he
terrible.
Could be stuck in something right now, you know?
Yeah, and he can't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, who has a parent of a missing child sign a legal binding agreement? Like, you know how they say when you lose someone or you go through a tragic event, you're not supposed to make any big decisions, right? You're not supposed to buy a house, shouldn't buy a car, you shouldn't commit to anything. But you got this Yahoo over here, TikTok fucking Tony, having Seth sign a legal agreement while the search is on for his son. If that doesn't say predator, I don't know what does.
Right. Yeah.
Makes me sick.
Yeah, Tony should be locked up for everything that he's doing.
He's a
he's
predator.
not even. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know. I did look up the records from Oklahoma. I mean, I think it's him.
Yeah,
but if it's
not.
him, huh?
He said it's not. I'm just saying that's what he said.
I mean, it's public knowledge, but I mean, there is records on there that he, trying to sell illegal drugs. And it's like,
who?
Tony, did you look it up? Go on Oklahoma court.
Oh, no. I saw something about a bad check. I didn't see anything about that.
Yes, it's on there. Actually, you know what? I'll send it to you. I'll email it to
me
you.
Because I heard him say,
yes,
I think it was on TikTok. He said, and I didn't hear it firsthand, but someone had told me that they heard him say something about the record wasn't him. It's a black man in Oklahoma with the same name.
Whatever.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, there's that fraudulent check. There's a fraudulent check on there, and there's also another one where he was trying to sell some illegal drugs.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I'll email it to you because I'm not one to put out misinformation. I always have something to back up on, so I'm going to email it to you, and then you can decide to, if you want to broadcast it whenever. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, but no, for real. If you guys go, anybody in the chat, anybody, there's Oklahoma court records or whatever. If you go on there and you can just you type in Tony Mathis, and his name comes up, and there's a lot, there's a lot on there, but you'll be able to see exactly what he's got on his record. So
weird. Well, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, Jay. Thanks for taking me.
You too. Appreciate you. Bye.
All right. Yep. Bye.
I flashed and said, "Wow."
Pretty far
Pretty
out
far
there.
I thought it was pretty
Thank
far
you
out.
so much for your call. There is a black Tony Mathis with court prosecutions also. Yes. So that's what I heard he said, that it was same name and it was a different person in Oklahoma. So in all fairness, I don't know about that. Let's take another call. 727-755-6001. Give me a jingle. Let me know what's on your mind. Jazz Doby says the signed agreement isn't worth shit. It is. So Seth stated he signed the engagement letter. If you go Google, just Google what's an engagement letter. It's a legal binding contract. Cannon, you looked it up. Thank you, Cannon. But yeah, I pulled up the pictures. On the left is allegedly that's Katie's Infinity. And then on the right, that's the Bauer Sox. So theirs is, but the Bauer Sox, the one they're driving, looks kind of grayish. And that's Mama Bauer Sox on the far right. Yeah. She looks like she's desperate for someone to help her find her grandson, doesn't she? Is she eating what's she eating? A donut? What is she doing? What exactly is she doing? Is she holding a coffee? So this woman doesn't look the least bit concerned about her grandson. I don't know why he would retire or require a contract. Retire. He should retire. Why he would require a contract. I don't know. That was Seth's words. He said, I signed the engagement letter 3 weeks before they even knew who Tony was. Now I want a donut.
For donuts?
Strudel. Caption this. Scary. But how can we work it out, Tommy Robinson, without discussing theories and motives and people's actions? How else do you figure out where he could be? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Guys, I don't know what the hell she was doing, but here's her husband. This is Terry. Hold on, let's get rid of Mama Bauer Sox for a second. This is Terry Bauer Sox. He actually stepped out of the car because JLR was there and threw his hands up in the air like, you want to go? You want to go, punk? Yeah, that's loud. A colossal donut. Oh my gosh, our gas station, like it's called Racetrack, whatever. They get Krispy Kremes in their little donut case. It's the best. So that is Chris's mom. This is Chris's stepfather. This is Terry Bauer Sox. Like, why so aggressive, you know? Why so aggressive? I would really like to know the year of their infinity. Because, or Raceway, that's what it is. Thank you, Cannon, not Racetrack. It's Raceway. Thank you. Tommy, well, if you have any theories, call 727. I keep forgetting my number, 755-6001. Oh, yeah, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. He's a jerk. Remember that song? You're a fucking jerk. You're a fucking jerk.
Call from
Sylvia.
Hello, you are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Hi, Jay. This is Sylvia.
Oh, hi, Sylvia. Did I lose your call earlier? Did you call in earlier?
I don't. I did. I called a couple times, but I got a recording, so I just
I'm
left a
sorry.
message.
Okay, I did see your number pop up. I'm
Oh.
sorry, honey. Go ahead.
No, that's
Thank you for
fine. Thank you for
continuing.
taking my call.
Well, thank you for continuing to try to get through. So, what is on your mind?
Well, I think in the back of my mind, I have thought about a drowning, either at home in the bathtub or at the pond. And if I were being held down, I would scratch the hell out of somebody. That's the way I'm going. I don't know. Anything is possible, but there would be no blood, no fingerprints, no nothing.
Right.
Just, and then whatever happened after that, it was taken care of, and we don't know where the poor child is. That's my theory. Speaking allegedly, of course. I hate to think of it. God forbid.
Right.
However, I'm going with drowning. But getting to the pond.
Yeah, something happened in the pond.
So far, and maybe held down. It's just a theory. I wanted to tell you that.
Yeah, and I think that your theory could be on, and maybe he was moved from that location.
That's what I believe happened.
Well, thank you, Sylvia, for calling in, and thank you for not giving up and getting through tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.
I so appreciate your show.
I appreciate you as well. Thanks again for calling in.
Thank you much.
All right.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. 727-755-6001. The line is open for your call. They drained that pond, though, I thought. They drained the pond. So on the left on your screen are Terry and Kathy Bowersox in their glamour shots. Then we have Tony. That was him on panel with Caleb's dad. And then we have the Infinities on the far right. I don't think they had children together. Westcraft, I want to thank you for being here. I saw that you've been a member for a couple months. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Want a cough drop?
Yeah, it's weird. So yeah, he hopped out of his vehicle and he got mad at JLR. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, y'all, I think we're gonna wrap up this call-in show. Actually, we're gonna call this a wrap. I wanna thank everybody who called in tonight. If you didn't get through, hopefully, maybe next week on our wonderful Wednesday, you'll get through. And I like doing this theories tonight, so I think that you guys, I want to go back and re-listen to this, because you guys had a lot of good thoughts. The bite marks, the scratches. I don't know who Lynn Steinberg is. Yeah, it's just a circus, But you guys, talking about all of this tonight, I think has been, really good for just getting us back grounded. And I hope that tomorrow you'll join me. Tomorrow we're going to be going over the body cam of Stephen Stearns in the Madeline Soto case. Madeline Soto went missing on the same day as Sebastian, but her body was found. And her mom's boyfriend is charged. So we're going to be going over that body cam tomorrow. And I'll see you guys then. So we're going to run our credits. Oh, yes, Summer Rue. Say goodbye to Summer Rue. And you guys email me whatever you have. And Myron, I won't forget the credits, my dear. Wonderful callers tonight. You guys are so smart. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further? Bring it all in. And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems.